For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic. Before the Dark Tower, before the Empire.
If you remain the power of the dark side,
You may fire when ready.
I'll show you the dark side. We would be honored if you join us.
Don't worry, Archer. We're going.
Back it up, but what you have there.
I am a Jedi, like my father. Welcome back to Star Wars, and we've got a really special episode for you this week because we're doing the Last Jedi commentary, isn't that right, man?
Yeah, man.
We've got a special guest with us. It's always good to get a third person involved on the commentaries. It's Bradie Tippetts. How you doing?
Hey guys, I'm good, thanks. How you doing?
Doing well. Have you ever done a movie commentary before?
I have not. Well, not one that's been recorded. I do it with my sister all the time.
We were having a bit of chit-chat before the show started, and Bradie's insight into this film is going to be... what's the word?
Unreal. It's going to be great.
It's going to be unreal. You're not going to want to miss this. This is going to be great. So... we're all ready to start, right?
Already had an argument about it, so...
No, but we're going to get back into that. We're going to get into that. We're both wearing orange.
We are.
I'm not.
Would you say this is orange?
This is Rebel Flight Suit Orange, that's what I call this.
Yeah, it's exactly
Yours
that.
is like washed in the washing machine,
Yeah.
Rebel Flight Suit orange.
Yeah, more like Dagobah flight suit.
He was there from day one.
And I'm sort of... what am I?
You're like...
Hillbilly.
you look like
Thanks.
you look like you're in The Walking Dead, mate. They all wear gingham shirts and fucking skinny jeans.
This is the
in
second
Walking
day.
Dead.
That's all
they
did you
got.
see what I was wearing yesterday? I was wearing a black and white stripe thing.
I did,
They all called me
yeah.
the Hamburglar from...
I was going to Dennis the Menace, right?
McDonald's. Yeah.
No, it's McDonald's.
It was
I know what
McDonald's,
you're
yeah.
talking about,
It was black
yeah.
and white, and it was just... So every time I go to the till with these new clothes, I think they're just going to rip the piss out of me when I get to work. Brilliant. What a world we live in.
Okay,
Shall
we're
I
about to
press play?
start The Last Jedi. We're rolling it now. If you want to sync up your copy, you can at home. It's the Lucasfilm logo. And I can't wait. Been gagging to see
How
this
many
film.
times have you seen it now?
It's in 10. It's at least 10 now.
You need to
What about
see
you,
it like
Brady?
that.
3. I'm at
Three.
3.
Cool.
This is my third. That's how...
You're behind the times, man.
I've got a family, mate. Family.
Why don't-
Okay. So, did you go and see it opening day, Brady? Because we did. We everybody knows what we did because they've heard the episodes.
I didn't. I went to see this with a really good friend of mine called Amy, and it was awesome. I actually then went to see Black Panther with her. Later on.
How was that?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was
I haven't
great.
seen that one. I need
You
to
have-
get
you
to
Are
haven't
you
it.
seen
big
Black
into the
Panther?
Marvel and stuff?
I was there on opening night
I'm
for Black
watching
Panther.
Ant-Man. So I'm trying to catch up.
How many years behind are you?
Quite a few.
Wow.
The trouble is, you have to take a mortgage to watch all those films.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
It's
mental.
insane.
You do.
I'm not a massive Marvel fan, to be honest, but Black Panther was awesome.
Yeah.
I highly
I need to
recommend.
go see it. So what we got going on? We got...
So
Leo
it's right
Garner.
after the last movie.
Of course it is. First
Yeah,
time
they-
ever in a Star Wars film.
I'm glad they did that.
Yeah.
It would have sucked if they'd done it.
It would have been crap if it had started like at the moment where Rey meets Luke again. They had to
Yeah.
sort of tell you what was going on
Yeah.
elsewhere, and I think that's a really good idea. And I think this opening sequence is one of the strongest starts to a Star Wars film.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with the Star Destroyers just arrived, within a minute or something of
it's good.
the title music finishing.
It's good.
So the original version of this, on the new Blu-ray, you can get the deleted scenes, and the original opening pans down to show you Finn lying there, and you realise all the while you've been looking out the window of the room he's in, and then he gets up, there's a whole Rey thing, falls off the bed, wanders around, he's aboard that, and then he then realises where he is.
Billy
So,
Lord.
Bit of a different start.
There
Yeah.
she is.
So did you know that's Leia's daughter in real life?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, okay, cool. See, I told you she's a fan. Yeah, this is super exciting when these guys show up. I love how
And it's great in Blu-ray.
there's Eddie.
Or me.
Were you a big Adrian Edmondson, Rick Mail fan as a child?
Bottom.
Rick Mail, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I wish he was in this too.
So, now Hux has just turned up. I went to see Peter Rabbit at the weekend, the film.
Yeah.
And Hux is in it.
What, with James Corden?
James Corden the Rabbit, forget that. But Hux is the guy.
So is Daisy
McGregor.
Daisy Ridley.
Is she?
Oh, yeah,
she
of
plays
course.
one of Flopsy or...
I saw her doing like a
Right,
voice
so
session.
we got Star Wars connection there, Star Wars, but the biggest Star Wars connection, so the female lead, I cannot remember her name.
What, Daisy Ridley?
No.
The female lead from
in
Star
Peter
Wars.
Rabbit, the girl that lives next door.
I'm not
She
sure.
is Corday from episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Oh.
She's one of the bodyguards of Padme. I'm so sad.
I wouldn't say she's the biggest Star Wars.
Nah, I wouldn't
Character
say,
in
but it's a connection. So we found a triangle, didn't we?
We just missed-
he was in there.
We didn't just miss it, but you just missed the only... I've got a bad feeling about this in this movie.
And that was BB-8.
BB-8.
Like the UI in this.
Yeah, it's really well designed. They got it completely right. Look at all those panels and stuff. That's the kind of thing you needed in the prequels that we didn't have. We just got all this really ultra modern technology that looked out of
Prequels are
place.
just awful.
Yeah.
Never get that time back.
Stop it! Don't slag them off!
I'm glad
Are you
you're.
serious?
I quite like them.
He actually stands by most of them.
Wow.
Episode 1.
But then I say that out of the three of them, number one is the best. But only in.
Only by like.
Well, I'd
process
say
of
it's
elimination.
good
it's
in
it's
the.
the best of a bad bunch, basically.
I like the way I put it is it is good, but only in that shit is better than diarrhea. You know, it's that kind of comparison.
All that, yeah.
Okay.
So this whole phone call thing with Hux is just a stall while he charges up his super
Booster.
thruster thing.
I mean, I'm not sure about the Your Mama thing that's going
Yeah, it's
on
a
here.
bit. It doesn't really. But it belongs on our podcast, but it doesn't belong in Star Wars. We both squealed when he did it in the cinema, though.
Yeah,
Mother
everybody
joke,
did.
because our show's
we
been
did,
full of them
'cause
in the
we're
past. We're quite juvenile, yeah. There's also a line coming up in the movie which we loved, but you'll know when we get there. Because of juvenile
that was
reasons.
nonsense.
Although, given how dark this film is, the humour was 100% needed throughout.
Yeah,
just to take the edge
I agree.
off. Yeah,
I
just,
agree.
Honestly, just to take the edge off. Without it, it would have been pretty bleak.
Yeah. Oh, look at that! I love the little. Oh, this
I
guy.
love this ship.
Yeah.
I love
red-
this ship. I love him as well. This like, pissed off, middle-aged, grumpy ex-Empire admiral or whatever,
Yeah.
who is now surrounded by kids and he hates it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he's stuck on this amazing ship and he's not really got to the rank he deserves to
Well,
be
his
at.
ego's pushing him through this
Yeah.
whole thing.
And he's getting barked at by Hux, who is
Yeah.
like 40 years younger than him or whatever.
Well, all this film does is it takes ego and it says you can't
No.
always win by jumping in an X-wing. And
This
blowing
movie
shit
is
up.
all about
That's part of
failure.
it.
The entire film has got a running theme of failure in it,
That's if
which
you-
we can go into in more detail.
But that's if you assume that this film is about, as we were talking about before, about a hero's journey.
Yeah.
And actually these three films are about the heroine's journey. So it's actually a different type of narrative.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
This is why we've got
Here
on
we
the
go.
show. That was close.
Punch is a great-
Oh, so that was
great
the old
line.
Reading base blown up. I don't think they actually did any filming there. It looks like it was all done on blue screen
Yeah.
or green screen, as they call it.
There she
We're all
is.
watching the main screen here, and Jude's looking at his laptop, which we're showing the film off.
The laptop's got more it's got
Richer
more
screen.
colour. It's got
Well, I
more
think it
colour.
has actually, mate. It probably has.
Sorry, I should go.
It's okay. When the
Gravitas.
screen warms up, it'll look better.
Oh, we turned her off.
Yeah. So he's disobeying the orders here. It's quite.
She's frustrated.
He's a naughty boy.
I just don't like him.
Do you like Poe?
I just don't.
Why?
Really?
Why?
Because he's a Poundland Han Solo.
No, because at least like
Arrogant?
Han. No, arrogance is like, I mean, well, yeah, but so was Han. But like Han
He did it
had
with a little cheek.
But also,
Honestly.
Han was he was a smuggler and a scoundrel, and there was him and he was Chewie, and that's
Yeah,
where his
yeah,
responsibility lied. He didn't ask anybody to take responsibility for him, and he didn't have responsibility for anybody else, and he operated accordingly. Whereas this guy is literally in charge of hundreds of people's lives, and
Yeah.
he's just having a jolly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not having a jolly, but he's completely irresponsible.
Yeah, he
And
is.
you've
He
gotta
is.
wonder
He
how-
wants to be the hero.
In this film, he has to
Yeah.
learn how
A
to
certain
be a
type
bit
of
more
hero.
control, doesn't he? But even right through this film, he's playing up. He's basically a pain in the arse for the whole
Yeah.
movie. And then at the end, he kind of finally figures out he's got responsibility and he needs
He's
to grow
quite
up a bit.
entitled, I think. He's like, I
Yeah.
can fly good, therefore.
Yeah, his ego, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like an ego trip. I love her. I think she's fantastic. Tally. Well, there's so many new characters in this film. They really bulked it up.
I love this guy. That guy reminds me of the old man from Men in Black.
Oh, I was
The
going to
old
say,
guy.
you know, Independence Day, the guy who
Sorry,
flies there.
Independence Day.
Yeah.
Independence Day.
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
one I
yeah,
was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, flipping out.
I love these bombers.
School,
I absolutely adore the look of them. I think they're fantastic.
know,
People
I
think they're
really-
ugly, but I really like them.
So I actually like this guy. I like this guy.
Yeah.
What I really like about these new films is actually the way they're humanising the people who work over at the Empire.
Yeah, they do. They've all got like a bit of backstory and stuff. Well, you
But
get
that's
Good shout.
But I think that's the kind of the whole point in these new ones. I think is that they really are blurring the lines between the binary good and bad thing.
I mean, do you think, like, in a moment, there's a bit where Snoke's face appears on the deck, and like that's probably one of the first times so many people in that room have seen what their leader looks like.
Yeah.
Because the guy's like hidden away all the time.
Yeah, good point.
Do they take one look at him and think, ugh, he doesn't look like a very nice man. He looks a bit evil.
Okay, I've mentioned this before, but it's a really good point. There's a book called Lost Stars. Have you read it yet?
No, I've still not read
Read
Lost
the book.
Stars.
It's the best Star Wars book ever.
Sorry.
And so the girl, she's there. She's standing on the Death Star 2, and you know when the Emperor comes to
Yeah.
survey
Yeah.
the construction of Death Star 2, and they all see the Emperor in real life for the first time, and they can't believe it because his scarred face and wrinkles and all this crazy stuff going on. And the propaganda around it was he was just the young guy from the prequels. That's how they knew him.
Right.
And they all started to question whether this guy was all there or not.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
his
it's a good
evil
point.
laugh, his big cackle. I love the Paige character here. I really think she's this bit in the cinema, the first time I saw it anyway, was so tense and exciting.
People were actually getting choked up.
Yeah.
in the cinema
And you've
around
only
me.
just met her, and she seems really important.
There's a lot of drama in that one.
But the amount of responsibility on her now, the only bomber left, and
Again, but this is one of the things that new films are doing, is that they're taking ordinary people and they're
Yeah.
being like, you don't have to be a Skywalker, you don't have to
Yeah.
have this incredible lineage, you can just be a normal person and
still have a part in the story.
Exactly. And I think everyone can kind of like, you just really,
Get to that.
you relate to her. in this
Well, I
way.
guess that goes back to the original film. No one understood who Luke Skywalker was. He was just a farm boy. It was only
Yeah.
later in the.
no one cared about his dad
It was
until
only later on that
Empire.
they
Yeah.
put all that in. So it's kind of like, okay, anyone could be a hero if you just
Yeah.
isolate that one film.
I mean, I
And they're
don't
trying
think
to
any of
bring
that.
back.
But
Who's
she's the
Rey?
hero now here, because
Yes.
without the Force. I mean, although
Yeah.
you could argue her catching the Force seems to
Yeah, she flipped over.
I've got a
very quickly.
question.
It seems
Yeah.
to
How
go
do
around.
bombs fall in space with no gravity?
Apparently, they home towards the target, which is the
Absolute
shit.
bollocks. Just saying.
This
I know.
isn't a science fiction, though. This is a fantasy.
It is.
There's a lot of really
But there's no
beautiful-
sound in space either, so how can I even hear that explosion?
I've got to say, this is
So
the
you
best
could-
art-directed film.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you compare that explosion.
I'd
Look at
still
that,
argue.
compared to Episode 2. The
No, I don't. I'd argue. Yeah, totally. But Rogue One, I think, is the most visually beautiful of the films.
Oh yeah, I mean that's stunning.
Oh.
Really gritty. It's a different kind of art direction,
Yeah,
though, isn't
I'd
it?
say it was
Yeah.
harking back. It was harking back to the originals. It was one for the fans. But this is like, this can stand alone.
Yeah, true.
There's a lot of, so I'm talking from the posters, the campaign posters, all the way to sitting down, watching the film. Whereas I mentioned it last week, the Force Awakens poster was a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
I
had
love this,
thinking
where they
around it to slam it down.
Get back inside the Radis just in time
I
and
love
take
the
off.
posters for this.
They were quite good.
They're stunning.
She's a famous actress. I've forgotten her name though. Scottish. Does a lot of British stuff.
But in the original trilogy, there were no females at all on the deck.
No.
Not even in the Rebellion.
No. Well,
From Jedi.
Mothma.
That's Jedi. I'm talking.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the Leia.
Yeah, but
She's standing around at the end of the film.
Like, to Bradie's point, she's the main character.
Yeah.
And they're
true.
having a gold bikini at one point.
Yeah,
so,
I know. I know. It's really demeaning.
I mean,
It's
like,
her,
I mean,
and the
I'm
woman
not-
who looks a bit like Leia in Echo Base. You see her very briefly, like
Yeah.
playing with a computer, but that's about it. So this was the shot, the opening shot of the film originally, in the original cut.
Before all of that other stuff.
Yeah, because it was just an editing decision to do it differently, and I prefer what we actually got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But you can see why that viewport would have just been of space, so it would have worked
Yeah.
because if the titles happened through that viewport.
There we
Love
go.
those little things that drive you around, the little buggies. that
Lazy.
girls
You've
get
been
on.
sitting in your cockpit for goodness knows how long. Can't be bothered to walk. Having a laugh.
Yeah, so I mean, like he's been asleep like the whole.
What I like is the people
The whole
running
time.
around him can't be bothered to help him. It's just like dazed and confused.
Where's Ray?
So he's been out of it for what, 2 days at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I'd say
starts just after.
it was so good to get back to this island. I mean, I just wanted to see more. When at the end of that movie, I just wanted the last one to see more of this place because it's so gorgeous, all that moss and stuff.
Where is this shot, actually?
This is Skellig Michael in Ireland.
Ah, I thought it was Ireland.
Yeah,
It's
they did a
gonna
couple
be-
of shoots in Iceland for this film as well, and Dubrovnik,
Yeah.
and I think that's about it.
Location.
Location-wise,
Because most of it's filmed in space, right?
yeah, a lot
So
of
it
it. A
would
very
have been
studio-bound movie. But then bits of this island were
Shot
also
in space,
recreated.
not as a location.
No,
I can see you
yeah.
looking at me going, "Oh, I'm going to do him. If he doesn't mention it, I'm going to do it."
It's
I
like
was
the
literally
Gravity
thinking
joke.
that.
You know when they did press releases for Gravity, a Japanese journalist asked George Clooney, "What was it like to film in space?"
Oh.
That's how good the graphics were.
Yeah.
I was a bit disappointed with that.
I liked that.
Well, the
I
decision
was
to
waiting-
flip the
I
light,
was
throw a
waiting for
lightsaber off
2
the cliff,
years for Luke to like
say something.
say something, and
But
he
he's
just,
gone away to turn his back on all this.
I know,
He's actually
I know,
turned his
I know,
back
I
on
know.
it. He doesn't want to know.
It's also a nice kind of cinematic irreverence there as well
Mm-hmm.
from Ryan Johnson. Like, yeah, you've been waiting for this for 2 years and you think he's going to pick up the lightsaber and be this amazing hero, and over the shoulder it goes. I like that.
always do the opposite to what the audience wants. I think.
Yeah.
Because if you always gave the audience what you want,
Yeah.
next we got 13 more Star Wars films coming.
Give the audience what they want. We'll
It'll
have
be
bloody
boring.
prequels for the rest of all time. The fans don't know. They don't know best. I think it's good that this film challenged a lot of things and changed a lot of people's perceptions. And the people who are annoyed with it,
It's the most controversial, isn't it?
yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. But then one of those reasons, I mean, even Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, he didn't like it at all that his character is the way he is and has a
That
massive
didn't-
problem with the things that Luke does in the
That
film.
didn't really surprise me actually to hear that, because I mean that's he's been Luke Skywalker for God knows how
all his
long.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even now, like I was watching interviews with him as well, and when he's giving interviews, he speaks like he's Luke. He doesn't talk about
No.
the characters. He refers to
me.
Rey, and he talks to about Ben. And he talks
Maybe he's
about
going
me.
senile and he's actually believing it.
But but he's also
true.
he's lived
It's all
in the kind
true.
of the fan world ever since the movies as well.
Yeah.
And he's really stoked that and kept it going, which is kind of nice actually.
He's
Yeah.
certainly a fan favourite. I love
Yeah.
following him on Instagram. He
I
cares.
love these scenes with Kylo Ren. Every
Oh.
time Kylo Ren came on the screen in the cinema, I just sat
I know.
up.
I love this set, the red in the background and
Throughout,
yeah,
red
it's just-
as a thing just goes throughout.
that's it. The art direction. There you
Yeah,
go.
it's absolutely beautiful.
You're giving this show a new gravity.
We've
and
peaked.
sophistication.
We've peaked, so it's like 10 minutes in,
ridiculous.
we've peaked.
I need to get a dictionary out and start upping my game.
Although people are saying the use of red throughout this film is because of the womb-like connotations.
Wound?
Womb.
A womb. How interesting. That's quite odd. I've never thought of that one before.
Well, if you look at it from like the hero's journey perspective, it's about kind of the heroine's journey. Sorry, goes from maiden, mother, wise woman.
Yeah.
And it's about how she progresses from like the virginal maiden through to through to a mother figure, and then finally through to wise woman. When the whole point of the heroine's journey is to conquer life and death.
Yeah.
So a lot of the kind of the womb-like connotations, particularly in this film, kind of tie in with all that symbolism that goes in with that kind of storytelling and that kind of narrative.
Got you.
There was so much anticipation for seeing Snoke in person,
And
and what he would be like, and they've
got him in a gold dressing gown.
yeah.
I found a gold
It's got a
dressing
little kind
gown
of like
CK
curly
Maxx, so I was
slippers
going to buy
on.
you it.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, give me a gold onesie. They've got these amazing. Go to One Piece right now. They've got these velour onesies in gold. I want one so much. I could just be Snoke all day.
The unmasking in this scene is
Yeah.
really interesting because it's completely different from the way he voluntarily unmasks himself for Rey. That's him becoming vulnerable, and now he's
that's a good
forcing.
When he
point.
takes
That's a
that
really
mask
good
off,
point.
he's exposed,
Yeah.
and he's also humiliated with that scar on his face. CGI on Snoke is amazing, by the way. They've done,
see the
done
making?
so well, yeah.
Even that throbbing vein up the side of his face.
Oh, I was very worried when I heard that the main villain of the movie is going to be, in The Force Awakens, is going to be a CGI character. I was thinking, like, no. It's going to be like a four-legged kind of.
It's at a point that
alien man.
you can't tell the difference. But in 10 years, we'll be saying, look how crap that CGI looks.
Will we?
We always do. Yeah, of course we do.
I mean, it was fabulous in Rogue One, apart from the bit. At
Did
the
you
end
watch
when
it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah, Leia.
Oh, she watched it. She hadn't
Of course
watched Rogue
she
One.
did.
I hadn't
Till the
watched
weekend.
it.
Oh, you hadn't watched
No,
it?
I kept
Right.
it back.
Oh, I wish we'd done. No offence, Raj, but I really wish Bradie had been around for that as well to see the Vader scene. But then
God.
you wouldn't
It
want to
wasn't
do a
calling
commentary
you
shot
Raj because
first.
she looked at you like you completely...
No, sorry, the chap who our mate
got it.
Raj joined us for the Rogue One commentary. Yeah, and he was fantastic, obviously. But it's been great to have somebody who's not seen the film before in that session. I love his anger. I mean, I totally identify with Kylo Ren.
Oh my, yeah, and you're supposed to.
I
You're
imagine you at
supposed to be
home
sympathetic.
smashing cups of tea up. I've seen you in a lift with your Mac.
Yeah.
Take that.
Oh, I do. If I get to the point of like super anger, I will go in a room and I'll smash something and I'll come out.
Okay, that's
proper-
healthy.
I'm really.
Um,
I'm more in control of it now than I ever was before. I'm sorry. You really get the honest me on this show.
Too honest sometimes. I have to edit it every week.
Hear a word I just said.
Look at Chewie. Interesting choice of words, isn't it? Laser sword. Is that just to sort of like? Is he saying that because he says that's how everyone else sees the Jedi weapon? Is that laser sword?
Anakin called it a laser
Yeah,
sword
in
in,
the prequel.
episode 1 when he was 9 years old. That's the
Yeah.
only reference I can think of. But Chewie is completely pointless. He's basically a chauffeur in this film.
Yeah. So before we recorded this, I checked out the new documentary on the DVD or the Blu-ray. There's a 90-minute documentary called "The Director and the Jedi," and it's like a fly on the wall making of
Yeah.
The Last Jedi. And there's no like no heads talking to camera. It's all kind of just footage of
This
them.
bit was weird. I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Squeezy green milk nipple from
Well,
an alien.
they were trying to figure out how best to do this, and in the end they decided they would definitely do it with an actual physical puppet that squirts milk, because they
It's his
wanted it
face
to
after
be.
he swigged it, look.
Yeah.
In defiance. Yeah. What I like is the alien looks at Ray like,
she's kind of
and
embarrassed.
what?
Yeah,
Wanna
yeah.
go?
But this is another. Again, I'm going to plug the whole heroine's
sorry.
journey thing.
Yeah.
But this is another
I
example.
think you're going to say
of,
that was a feminist subtext there to the way that men drain milk out of women in society. No,
No,
nothing like that. Okay, great.
Wasn't going to go there, no.
Some of the most sarcastic guy in the world now. No, I'm not.
But like the heroine's journey is part of it is about like a sexual awakening, which you see a hell of a lot in this.
Yeah.
And it starts with apparently like it started in the Force Awakens when she gets hold of the lightsaber and then she just basically throws it and runs away terrified into the woods, which is probably the most common like motif.
Metaphor.
For going from child to adolescence to kind of like fully grown.
I've never
adult.
considered that before.
Yeah,
so you're
where
saying
she
it's a
meets
puberty
Kylo
thing.
Ren.
Perspective.
Wow.
Yeah, who then bridal carries her into his ship.
That's pretty.
Yeah,
good.
that's incredible.
Should have got
So-
you back on. Maybe
is
we could
incredible.
redo all the commentaries with Bradie.
I really hope her and Kylo Ren get together in 9.
Well,
I just want them to kiss. You know, these fingers they touch hands.
Yeah.
In this film, they touch hands. I want them to have a nice kiss.
people are saying that and the fight scene at the end, which is epic.
Yeah.
Are basically the closest Star Wars is ever going to get to a sex scene.
Well, I will take that over sex scene. It's like, you know how Boy George used to say, sex, I'd rather have a cup of tea. I'd rather see Kylo Ren and Rey fighting together back to back.
It would be weird. I'd feel very uncomfortable if it suddenly.
Yeah. I'm not sure that they'd have wah guitar in the Star Wars universe, but they'd
John
have
Williams
like
is
an
getting senile now, so you
yeah,
never know.
Equivalent. The tree set's gorgeous as well. So they built this. The tree and the slope going up to it off the M3 in Surrey. These little studios there, and
That's insane.
yeah, and they had to like photograph the ground at Skellig Michael and then completely recreate it. It's a beautiful piece, and then of course they burn it down later for the Yoda scene, which is just so good. This film really explores a side of the Jedi you've never seen before, where some of the stuff in this, some of the concepts about what the Jedi are, and he's gone back and done all this research, and he's basically telling us that the Jedi we saw in the prequels.
Because Yoda asks him, and he's like, "Read him, have you?" And Luke's like,
yeah.
"Oh well, I've been busy milking giant sea cows."
I mean, he does quote in deleted scenes. He does quote things from that book.
Yeah.
So I think Luke knows more about the Jedi religion and its origins
Do you think
than
reading
any
the
of those
origins-
people on the Jedi Council.
What's put him back then? It's Kylo Ren's obviously put him off.
Yeah.
But none of those books could bring him back to thinking in that way.
Because
he's a person having life experience as well, and he's getting old, and people
Yeah.
sometimes get a bit jaded when they're...
well, he says in this film that the Jedi's legacy is failure, and it's best not to even take a side now and just let the universe solve itself, because there's balance, dark, good and evil.
There's also the assumption that when the Jedi were at their peak, that they got it right, that they'd got the whole idea of the Jedi Order right, and actually this film, suggests that no, actually, Jedi and Sith have had it wrong the whole time.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be one or the other.
Yeah.
They're supposed to find balance. They've been banging on about balance since day naught.
Yeah. They have, because that's the prophecy, right? The person that brings.
Is Rey the prophecy?
I think she might be.
This is the point.
Or
okay.
is Rey
tying all the prequels and everything together. J.J. Abrams quote.
No, the one that will bring the prophecy maybe that Rey
Bring balance to the
and
Force.
Kylo Ren have a child, and that's the prophecy bringer.
I feel like episode 9 theories needs to be a separate.
Yeah, okay, there's a separate show.
Because we could definitely.
Okay, we'll
Coming
go
back
into
to
it later.
episode 9, the theories.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let me do it for this film. Every time I said, let's have a show of like theories for 8, he was like, no speculation.
I just didn't want to spoil. No, because the problem was, right, Jude was reading every bloody website with the rumours and spoilers and everything, and I wasn't, and I was worried that he'd slip in actual spoilers, and I just didn't want to know anything accidentally. I went into this film pretty blind. Well, it's interesting actually, because
That's
the
what happened
trailers
to me.
we saw, when you watch those trailers for The Last Jedi, you kind of put together a rough idea of the storyline and the way at what point certain scenes happen, and that my expectations were completely confounded when I saw the actual movie. The order was totally different to what I imagined, and I thought that big walker battle was happening at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
Just like in Empire.
Totally surprised.
Were you surprised by that?
What, by the...
Did you go into the movie thinking you knew how it's going to play out, and then find that
I wasn't surprised
you totally was...
I wasn't surprised that they built on the Kylo and Rey thing,
Right.
because that was obvious from the first film and obviously from the trailer.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised they really went they really got behind it as much as they did. Like they really went for it, and that actually surprised me. I thought they were going to hold back a bit more.
I think it's great, but you got Kathleen Kennedy to thank for that.
Yeah,
She
Definitely
is
do.
pushing.
Yeah. Oh, she's fantastic. Everyone's just stopped complaining about
look.
Disney. They're doing an amazing job.
Admiral Akbar, right there.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed at how he dies. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, in fairness, the actor has died.
I don't care. Like, it's a man in a suit. If the actor of Akbar was walking down the street, I would not recognise him.
No,
I know he's
well,
dead.
that's because he's dead. You'd recognise him if a corpse was walking down the street.
Yeah, of course. It'd be a bit weird. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, I think he should have stayed behind and smashed into the ship.
Yeah.
No way.
Yes, a legend of the show, legend of the Star Wars franchise, and he just gets.
Well, he's not really a legend of the Star Wars franchise, okay? He's got
Game of
one
Thrones
decent
teaches
line.
Anything.
It's a trap. It
Yeah.
goes down in legend. I don't care.
I don't necessarily agree with Jude on that. I think that he's in one film for about a third of the film,
Right.
if that.
You know,
This bit's traumatising. I hate this bit.
You know, in the
gets
trailers
wiped
when
out.
this came out, and you see his thumb hovering over the button, and everyone's
Yeah.
like. If you go on YouTube, my favourite thing is you can look up people's reactions to seeing his thumb hovering over the button to kill his mum for the first time, and it's just brilliant. It's thousands of people go.
I felt so sorry when he's on his kamikaze mission here. I just
Yeah.
felt so sorry for him.
Yeah.
That's why, like, oh no,
It's
I can't say
It's a
it.
trapped little boy, isn't
Go
it?
and see it.
No, I can't because that's talking about episode 9, and we're not.
Yeah,
You
go
can
on,
talk about
treat
it.
yourself,
You
treat
can
yourself.
You can totally say what you want.
I was going to say the fact that they've started giving him a redemption arc, and the fact that they've made him so you empathise with him so much in this
Yeah.
film has basically convinced me that they're not going to kill him in 9 because you can't build up this much empathy for a character.
He's my favourite
and then
one.
kill them
Yeah,
in
he's
the
my
9th.
favourite.
So I don't think they'll do it.
Yeah. I
I
love how his head can detach. It's brilliant.
Talking of empathy and the amount of wrong someone's done and the forgiveness that goes with it, just brush it under the carpet, forget it's all happened, right? I've got a
Happens
little.
at Darth Vader.
What can I? You
Whoa.
brought that forward. My point was this: Darth Vader,
His hands are
genocide,
going all over the place.
genocide.
Yeah, carry on.
That's all in my hands. Genocide.
Yeah.
Millions of people dead,
Yeah.
thanks to the hands of Vader. Luke Skywalker at the end is fighting. He's like, come back, Dad. Come on, come with me. We can just. You don't have to be this bad guy. As if everything would be forgiven. It'd be thrown in a jail cell for a start, right? Fast forward, flashbacks in this. Hang on, let's just watch this bit.
I knew you'd get distracted by what was
It's
going on.
emotional.
It's so good though.
And then someone shoots anyway, and it's like it's pointless.
I would have chased after those TIE fighters and took them out. And fast forward, look, Akbar's gone.
By the way,
She should be dead. I'm sorry, ridiculous.
finish your little point.
Right, my point is
Hurry.
this.
You've got less than 30 seconds.
Fast forward to this film, he's standing over him.
Yeah.
Kylo's in bed, Luke's standing over him. He has a little flashback and goes, oh, we could turn to the dark side. I must kill him.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
mental.
that's a good point.
There's no
Consistency
dad
there.
that's a
Yeah.
genocidal maniac versus someone that potentially is bad. I'm going to kill him. Luke's mental. Next.
The Leia sequence here is very controversial. Lots of people hate this.
Well, it's like what?
They hate the fact that she survives in space. Apparently, someone from
She's not a
NASA
Jedi.
has said
She would die.
that someone from NASA said she's in space for like 1 minute 37 seconds. There's every chance she can still be alive.
Also, it's not a sci-fi.
reality.
It's not based in reality or
Yeah.
on technology that exists now or might exist in the future. It's a fantasy in
Yeah.
space.
Yeah, it's true.
Good
It's
point.
true.
But I thought this would have been an easy way to have just
That's
got
what-
Carrie Fisher.
I thought this
Honestly.
was. I genuinely thought this was her
That's
exit.
what I
And
thought.
They've done it really cleverly. They
That's
actually
what I thought.
used CGI to sort of
And
kill
it's
her.
Beautifully done. Then this happened, and me and you looked at each other.
We
You
were
went
like-
to me, what?
Yeah, we were like, what? She can
Well,
survive.
I love that they kept doing and that they did this actually. And do you know what I was thinking the other day? And that obviously they've had to rewrite the film now.
Poppins!
Oh,
Sorry.
for God's sake!
I just needed to say it.
Obviously they've rewritten 9 now, so that Carrie's not in it. But wow,
Yeah,
at
we'll
least
find out what they
find
do.
out.
Yeah.
But obviously she won't have the. She said 9 was going to be her film, and that was how they intended to play it, which actually would have made sense in terms of the heroine's journey as well.
Yeah.
But I was thinking somewhere there is a version of 9, the script, as it was intended.
Yes, where she
Can you
lives.
imagine reading that?
Oh.
Well, Jude said, right, he heard something like they're going to recast. They're going to recast her.
But you
No.
can't
I
do
don't
that.
think I
They
want to
said-
see that.
No, they said they weren't. JJ said we've torn it up. We've had to start again.
Right,
They're
really?
not- yeah, they're not doing it. And they
Okay.
said they would not bring her back
How
to
would you
CGI.
kill her then?
That's why I think the time jump they're going to have to do, and why it's going to be important, because I wouldn't be surprised that
Okay,
either
so
she's
she's died
died
within the
maybe,
time.
or potentially at the start of the film.
Oh yeah,
somewhere at the
you're going to
beginning.
have to. I reckon the next movie will be set some years after this one. I really hope it is. Anyway,
I love this bit with the porgs
Oh,
and Chewie.
they were so cute.
you're in the love porg camp.
Yeah, of course.
Good.
Oh, this little face.
Jude got really annoyed with them. He said there was too much, or it was too much.
What do Wookiees
Cute.
eat? I mean, apart from porgs.
Everything, I think.
Yeah. Goes for
Omni-
anything that's
Are
living.
they carnivores or omnivores?
Oh, they're
Do you
definitely
know?
carnivores. Yeah, because
Carnivores,
he pulls some sort of animal off a tree and tries to eat it in Jedi, and they get caught in that big net.
I still think after you told me that Han, I've seen the clip, I've seen the deleted scene where Luke.
After I
finds
told
out-
you, or Bradie told you?
No, you told me last week that he in the book he takes a moment to think about Han's death.
Yes, and cries.
That should have been.
That's actually a deleted scene. You can
That
see
should be
Luke
in
in
the
his
film.
room just
I
sobbing.
think there is kind of reliving it a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
There.
Oh,
I
this
love
bit.
this
This
bit.
bit's
Yeah.
Tingles every
God,
time.
choked up in this bit.
That's great.
And we've met the guy inside R2, haven't we? I've met
have.
both of them.
Yeah.
Hey, sacred island, watch the language.
He's very underused in this, though, R2.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have any kind of role, which
Well,
is a shame.
They're sort of phasing him out and bringing
Yeah.
BB-8 to the fore,
Don't
aren't they?
phase the droids, though.
I know.
Don't phase the droids.
He used to fly.
Then can make me change my mind.
No, he didn't. In the prequels, which don't count, they're going to be remade. I keep thinking they're going to have to remake the prequels.
We're
Just
remaking the
remake
prequels
them.
on the podcast.
We will.
We're
Will you voice
writing the
Princess
script.
Leia for
Oh my
us?
god, of course!
Oh, thank God.
Amazing.
We're going to do that. We're going to we have to do a read through of the original. We've done read throughs of the original Empire script and the original Jedi script, which were really funny because they're so awful. But we'd love
Oh,
to do a
look at
read
it, look,
through of
look,
the
look, look at
original Star Wars script. So if you want to be down for that, be our
Yeah.
Princess Leia.
Oh yeah.
Leia. That was a cheap shot.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we're gonna have the first Force Bond? No, not yet.
No, I always forget when it is.
Luke's got a habit of standing over people whilst they're sleeping. I think Luke's got a weird fetish. Done it to Ray, did it to Kylo.
You think he did it to Yoda?
What happens
Yoda's
is,
little hut.
I reckon.
He does it to Yoda because Yoda dies.
Yeah.
What happens immediately
Yeah.
after?
I reckon what happens is.
He's about to ejaculate all over him, and then
caught
Yoda
out,
just disappears.
And then Kylo goes, "What the hell is my uncle doing standing above me?" And Luke's going, "Lightsaber, I'm going to make this massive story up about you, saying that you're going to the dark side, but really, it's just a cover up."
I was just knocking one out over
Yeah.
my nephew asleep.
That's the story he tells Ray. Sorry, the real blow was is coming out now.
You were behaved for all of 15 minutes.
And then they're just weird, perverted banter.
What do you think of Laura Dern's character, General Holdo?
I think her
I mean,
hair's a bit
do you
much.
like Laura Dern as an actor? You're a bit of a
Yeah,
fan?
I haven't got anything against her. I think she's.
I have. Her blue rinse is awful in
I
this.
love her blue rinse. I love her mermaid hair.
Where's she got time to do
I
that?
wish they hadn't dressed her in that colour.
But
though.
look at the way she dresses. She dresses like she's off to dinner or something. She doesn't. Everyone else is wearing like dirty like jumpsuits and stuff, and she's
I'm
like
sorry,
dressed up like this.
but Leia's wardrobe in this, I wanted everything she had. Her like amazing cape
Gowns and stuff.
thing.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, yeah, she was incredible.
She's always been a good dresser, Leia.
It does look like
Apart
she
from
has a halo.
Jedi, where everything she wears from Jedi is awful.
You know what? I'm just looking at this, thinking they've dressed her like the Holy Mother. She's got a halo, and she's got
That's
a.
interesting.
You're a sickhead with your observations.
Oh, dude,
You're good, mate.
full-time film critic on the show this week.
I
Yeah.
literally only just noticed that from watching it right now.
She reminds me of the. Have you ever seen Bar
makes
Bar, the
perfect-
cartoon?
Yeah.
She's the old lady that comes
Oh
in and
my
reads them a
God.
story. She looks she's tall and thin and She is
You know
very
what?
tall, actually.
That's the difference. That's the scale, the polar opposites. Sophistication, the Holy Mother, and Barbara the cartoon. Welcome to Blah Wars.
I think it's good to have those juxtapositions.
Although the Barbara episode I'm thinking of when you said that was the one where there's like a Phantom of the Opera down in this building, which is another example of Death and the Maiden. Just saying.
Yeah,
We've
okay.
come full circle.
Great, this is amazing. The only Star Wars podcast out there that talks about Barbara as well.
Oh, we are now the most unsophisticated / sophisticated podcast out there.
It's highbrow and it's lowbrow.
It's
monobrow. It's one monobrow that goes downwards.
Someone's sloping knives.
Wow.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. I'm not to say spoke.
Do you think there's a sexual frisson between the two of them?
No.
Yeah, I love the idea.
Is it
of
a
that.
kind of? Is it a Freudian? I want to have sex with mummy thing going on? as
Yeah,
well?
I mean, throughout the entirety of Star Wars, from Anakin and Padme.
Yeah. Definitely. So, what the deleted scenes between reveal here is that Finn has established that Rey plans to come back, and she will come back at some point, and he realizes he needs to get far away as possible
Because she's going to go straight.
because she's going to walk straight into their destruction, and he's trying to get her safe, really.
Right, I said this to you last week, and I'm going to say it again. These two characters should have just been locked down in this.
They try and do too much with them, but the problem is there's so
They
many
shouldn't have
characters
been
in this
allowed to
movie
escape.
now. They have to give everybody some meaningful
But
story.
if they had done that, we wouldn't have DJ,
Good.
and we wouldn't
Didn't
have.
need him.
And
He was
are you
rubbish.
kidding me?
He
the
was
thing
crap.
is,
You do need him because he betrays them.
no, you also need him for that one pivotal thing he said to Finn about good guys, bad guys.
Yeah,
they're
you
all
shoot
the
them,
same.
you blow them up tomorrow. Yeah, true.
Well,
I
yeah,
would have done it like
the
this.
point-
I would have had an infiltration squad from the First Order with DJ involved.
No,
He's
he's
a
not
double
like-
agent.
He's not a double agent.
He doesn't.
He's
He
just,
says don't join on his hat. He's
yeah.
like he literally does not care
That's
for
what
either
DJ
side. They're all the
stands
same
for,
to him.
right?
Yeah.
But I also think, again, we're going to go into 9 territory.
Just
There has
Dip
to
your
be.
toes
There has to
into
be
9.
an appearance in 9. Yeah, for him.
But also what he says
Right,
to Finn about that, I think might be really pivotal for how Finn's character develops in 9, and that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't want to say how.
Let's do a follow up to this episode.
We need
9
to.
speculation.
This has been my plan the whole time. Brady's been asking me what my thoughts are on 9, and I've been
Yeah.
trying to go, let's get her in for a show,
Okay.
and then we ended up.
Consider
with
it
Jedi.
done. Consider it done.
Do you think Finn fancies Rey?
Ray?
I
Yeah,
think he
100%.
does, yeah.
I'm not convinced.
He asked her if she has a
I think
boyfriend.
you'll fall in love with Ray.
Yeah, but
Talking which, Brady,
he
do you have a
won't-
boyfriend? Just kidding.
I'm going to say it on the podcast.
Oh, God, yeah. I'll just awkwardly drink
That was-
my beer over here.
That was a joke. So, yeah.
But he asks her that within 5 seconds of knowing her, when he's trying to play the I'm a rebel fighter, and
Yeah.
kind of in the same way, in the exact same way he approaches Rose here, which is I'm a hero. He's just posturing.
But yeah, because he knows he's not. He's just this. He's ashamed of what he is, and he.
I think he's trying to say, yeah,
He's
I'm a
trying to
hero
get
because
out of
I've
this.
got the authority
He doesn't want to be in.
take
He
this
doesn't
part if
really
I
even
want
want to be in the resistance. He got tied up with them in the last movie, and as
Yeah.
soon as he's awake in the deleted scenes again, he's trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
He's trying to get off the ship
Yeah.
and carry on being a. He's done it as far as he's concerned. He's done his bit for the resistance. He's a bit like Han Solo in Empire
Yeah.
Strikes Back. Just wants to
Good
get on
point,
with his
yeah.
life now.
He's only there because of Rey. If Rey had died,
Yeah.
he wouldn't be there. There's no one on this planet he's there out
Totally.
of honour or loyalty or a bigger cause.
Maybe he would have been there for Ray's memory.
It's
I
funny because
reckon-
you think that
What
when
would you
they
fight
meet,
for? You
they
need to
finally
fight for-
see each
when
other
you lose
again.
someone, you need something to fight. You need something to hold on to.
Yeah.
But I don't think he wants to be there in general. I just think, to John's point, he's trying to get out at every possible moment.
Apart from
Yeah.
the end of this film where he tries to ram his little skier straight down the barrel of the gun.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
I didn't know where you were going with that for a minute. I was like, he tries to ram his little.
skier.
What?
That's the worst euphemism I could
I
ever.
remember the bit where Rose was unconscious.
He started laughing. I couldn't believe he started laughing. And I just, filth.
I was really
Maz
looking forward to
Kanata.
seeing Maz again, and I was really upset when they did it this
how
way.
many characters can we ram into this film so we can sell toys? That's all
Although
it was.
Phasma did not need to be in it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
we're
actually-
strongly in the no Phasma camp,
I
and that's not
forgot-
like a
Burn your
woman
Phasma
hating
toys.
thing. It's just she's so underused, and
I know.
I'd rather she was an unmasked Imperial officer
I
that's
agree.
quite senior.
That would have been good. Like to see Hux doesn't really do much, but
Those
to see,
massive trousers, massive.
to see her actually unmasked as an Imperial officer, ripped uniform, bleeding, actually trying to fight would be because Hux is just a whiny little bitch. Don't like him.
Yeah, he's gonna die because you have zero empathy, like zero sympathy with that character at all.
Is her appearance that metallic armour she has? Is that any kind of reference to her Game of Thrones character? Is that the
God, I hope
thinking
not.
behind it?
No, it's to
Did
sell
that-
more
did that come
toys.
first?
It's a chrome stormtrooper that you can buy in Toys R Us. Well, you can't anymore because that's closed down. So
R.I.P.
The Game of Thrones is definitely first because we
Yeah.
wouldn't have known who she was in
Oh, true.
Force
Yeah,
Awakens
yeah.
otherwise.
Gwendolyn Christie's, yeah.
what's she doing? What's Maz doing?
So she's in some sort of
This is like a
spot
week.
of bother. I thought she joined the Resistance at the end of the film. I'm
Too
pretty
much
sure.
money, mate. Too much money to CGI her face. It's either Snoke or Maz.
Is she in Solo? Is she in the Solo movie?
There's a clip.
know
There's a
yet.
clip on the trailer that looks like
I
it.
think she. Yeah, it looks like she's
but
driving the ship.
I studied it. She's got 4 arms. That character.
Oh, I see what you mean. That weird train thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It
I
would
guess
be
she
good
could
if
be.
she
I
was
guess she
because she
could be.
knows Solo.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to know how they knew each other.
Yeah, it could be. I'd like it if she was.
I'd
If
like
she
that
was,
too.
I'd go yeah.
Yeah. So the only other kind of stuff I will get into is like there's the Star Wars Battlefront 2 game, which is set immediately after Return of the Jedi, and that does a lot of setup for The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. So there's a nice little. There's loads of stuff like Luke going around the galaxy collecting all this Jedi junk, and then you see that stuff in his room. On this is the first Force Bond
Are we going to
scene.
see it?
Yeah.
Brady might have to come to see Solo with us and do a straight after show.
Would you be up for that?
Hell yeah.
We'll do opening day first
Do you
thing.
have any idea how much trouble I have getting people to come and watch Star Wars movies with me?
not
I'll give you a
anymore,
clue. A lot.
Any guys out there? Do you need a friend take to the film?
Oh God.
Yeah, don't tell our listeners that. They'll never leave you alone. That's a genuine.
There's your
puppet,
poster
that
scene.
little
Where's
thing.
his posters gone, John?
I don't know. The ones I see to you.
Was it immediately obvious to you in this moment that they can see each other?
There was something
Yeah,
going
because
on,
the
yeah.
echo
In the
that
cinema, was it?
happens- Yeah.
Was it,
It's good sound design, and by that I mean nothing. No music.
Well, everything's got like a
Okay.
kind of reverb to it.
so given that we all pretty much agree that it was obvious they can see each other in this scene,
Yeah.
I don't buy when the infamous topless scene happens when Johnson said, "Oh well, we needed to make it obvious that she could see him." We know she can see him at
Yeah.
this point.
I thought they did it for humour.
I feel like it was more of a.
They did that to show the scar. That was the whole reason why he's not wearing a shirt, so they could show you the scar going right down
it's a
his
similar
body.
thing about like with Star Wars goes. So Luke can only hear Obi-Wan in A New Hope, and then he sees him very faintly at the beginning of Empire, and then he sees him fully at the end of Empire, and then in Return of Jedi he sits down and have a full-on conversation.
But he's not a
one to
ghost.
one.
You don't think it was because they wanted to show an
See how he's
attractive,
ignoring
half-naked
everything
guy
she's saying.
to show that maybe she fancied him.
He just.
Well, I don't know.
She just said, "You'll pay for what you did," and he just ignored her completely. And he's just not interested at all in being reminded about what he did, meaning killing Han.
Not just that, but his focus is 100% on her, which
Yeah.
it has been since he found out she existed,
Yeah.
pretty much, and possibly a little bit before.
Do you think he fancies
like-
her?
Are you
Oh
kidding?
yeah, he absolutely is obsessed with her.
Yeah.
He's head over heels in love with her, but
Is
he also
is
hates her.
Or
Yeah.
is he just obsessed because she's his equal?
No.
No,
No,
I
there's,
think the
there's
moment
sexual tension
he,
there, and I
Yeah.
can, and there's proof of this because
He's been inside her
Mark
head.
Hamill said it. Mark Hamill actually said it in an interview. There's an interview with Mark Hamill, and they say they're talking about The Last Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
he says to the interview they're talking about, and he's talking about Ben and Ray, and he says, well, why is it the girls always like the bad boys? He said, there's all this, and he goes to say sexual, but then he corrects himself and he goes, there's all this romantic tension between Ray and my naughty nephew Kylo. I call him Ben, blah blah blah. We've all probably seen that.
Yeah, I've seen.
But he actually comes out and says it in an interview that they have sexual tension, which they clearly do.
Let's hope they're not brother and sister. Eh?
There's no way on this planet.
There's definitely no way they're brother and sister.
Being interesting.
But you were still saying, I think they might be brother and sister. I'm like, what? Because Leia would take one look at Rey and know.
She gave birth to her. I think she might know.
That line is really badly delivered. I don't know what Daisy Ridley was doing when she did that.
I think they know who she is. I'm
I
sorry.
don't think it matters.
What do you mean they know?
Leia, Han, I think they...
So you're still of the opinion that she actually has a past and she matters. Her parenthood.
I think there's too much of a... It's not solid enough for me to say.
No, I think it's irrelevant, mate.
I agree.
Shut up and listen.
Oh!
I hope that's something that John and not me.
It was.
Let me just get a piece of chalk and draw a line across the floor here between Jude and I.
It's not enough for me yet to accept Kylo saying your parents were nobodies.
What is it?
If they were... Why did they fly? Why do you see the flashback scene of that ship flying off?
Because they just sold her for money and they're going off to have
because
fun.
Kylo says they died on Jakku, drunkards on Jakku.
No, he's seeing what she sees, what she
imagines.
She knows to be true.
Yeah.
That's what he's
So
seeing.
it's all fake then.
They're in a pauper's grave.
He's seeing what she knows. He's basically taken what she knows, which is that they left her, they abandoned her, which is what they did in a piece of junk.
She knows
ship.
they're dead, but they.
And then he just fills in the whole.
The
they're in a pauper's grave on Jakku. You know where you come from. But that's why. But it is so important that she doesn't come from anything, and that she doesn't have this incredible lineage, because it's not important. That's not what the movies are about. You don't have to be someone.
Anybody can use the Force.
And you think the next film's going to be called
Anakin was nobody in the beginning. That's the whole point. He was a slave.
And Luke was just a farm boy, and if the droids hadn't turned up at his house, he would still be a farm boy.
This is where lore ruins this story arc, because Anakin was his dad was Plagueis.
No, fuck that. I don't believe that at all. This is why I have a problem with all these kind of like fan fiction things.
It's not fan fiction. That's a novel that was written. Okay, it's now under Legends, so they had to kill that one. But it was a novel that was released.
Unless it was in the movie.
It was canon. Yeah.
Is it now considered canon?
No, it's not.
Well, there we go then.
I really like.
Oh, I'm leaving.
I really like the way that this movie explains the Force in a whole new light. Like the Force does not belong to the dark or the light.
I knew I was going to try and dig at John a little bit, but both of you dig at both of you.
You can't argue.
If we all sat here and said, "Oh, isn't this is the great?" we all agree it would be boring.
Agreed.
I need to give a little bit.
Of course, it would be boring.
Powerful light, powerful darkness.
And she's able to sort of dip into the dark side and take something from it that's actually quite useful.
You've never seen that much power before. Is she stronger than Yoda?
What a crock.
Is she stronger than Yoda, do you reckon?
Is she stronger than Yoda?
Why is strength so important?
I don't know. Maybe I thought they were all equal,
he's
really.
literally just explained to us that a force is a thing that you can it's an energy that you can direct.
Yeah.
And you're open or closed to it in varying degrees.
Okay, is
so
she
it's
more
not about
open
strength.
to it than Yoda?
Well, we don't really
Who
know
knows?
because we don't
Who
know
cares?
enough about Yoda.
And does it
Bloody
matter?
hell!
Does it matter?
It does to me.
Why?
It does to my perception, my childhood perception of how I grew up with Star Wars. From a 5-year-old to...
But that's one of the reasons why I hate the prequels so much, because everything that happened in just the representation of the past is so out of line with the original trilogy. That's why I refuse to accept the prequels.
So where do we take this then? From 9, everyone can be whatever they want to be.
So I don't think Yoda.
Open.
You know, I do not buy Yoda using a lightsaber and flipping all over the
He
place.
did,
Just-
mate.
But you're
Helicopter lightsabers exist. Get over it.
But also, we can see from this film, but neither Rey or Kylo are balanced. I mean,
No.
balance
They
is not
balance
an easy.
themselves. They
balance
balance
is not,
each other.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
it's not. It looks like balance is not something you can actually acquire as a single entity.
Yeah.
To be completely balanced doesn't seem to be something anybody has actually achieved.
No, even Luke kind of goes all
Including
dark in
Yoda.
Return of the Jedi as well. He's all like dark and he's dressed in black and it's not very obvious, but apparently
He's got a little flippy white collar that comes out to show that he's light all along.
Yeah. There you go. There's all the little porgs for you there, Brady.
I feel they need to go back to Scully Michael because they take a porg with them, and
You have to put it back.
I feel strongly
Wait, is this
that
the
they
top
need to
of
go
this
back and pop it back
Just wait
on.
for the top of the scene.
It sounds like you want it to come.
And she's loving
I
it. Ben
absolutely
Swallow.
do.
And again, it's where the sound all comes.
Why is the Force connecting us? You and I.
Murderous snake. You're too late. You lost. I found Skywalker.
Did he tell you what happened?
Use the word snake annoys me.
Did he tell you why?
There's snakes in Star Wars. You
Yeah,
see
no,
what
I
Dagobah?
don't like. That's the worst thing about Empire. Something from Earth, apart from I suppose we're human.
There could be space snakes for all we know.
Yeah,
Could be.
From the Force.
What about that giant thing that tried to eat them in? Which one was it?
Empire.
Yeah,
Yeah, the space
yeah,
slug.
yeah.
Yeah.
The monster language is interesting.
Yes, I.
And they do something really interesting here where
Do you think that acceptance is the first step to recovery?
that's what they say, isn't it?
But I like it because she's got at him at this moment is just judgment and anger, and when he just goes, "Yeah, I am," she's got nowhere else to go.
No.
Good point.
He says your eyes are the same, like they were in the forest, meaning just before.
When she called him a monster, because
Yeah.
it's because it's easy for her to hate him when she dehumanizes him and makes him not a person.
Yeah.
And
And
when
then
he,
as she gets
when he
to know
accepts
him,
it, yeah.
and she realizes that actually they're both lonely kids whose family fucked them over, and she gets that empathy with him.
Yeah.
We go on that journey with her, and it's impossible to hate him.
Did his family?
Yeah, I imagine being
It's
Ben
like going off
Solo
to
must have been
boarding
horrendous.
school or something.
I think that would have been. I think that probably would have been a blessing because at least then you don't witness your parents abandoning you every single
I'm
day.
pretty sure the book mentions that Ben was always a bit of trouble, and they sent him off to sort of like get the best out of him. He's so angry, he has his dad's anger, and he's got his mum's sort of Jedi abilities. And
I heard that he was. I mean, maybe I got it from a wrong source, but I heard that he was born an incredibly force-sensitive child. And you've got Han Solo, who's always talked about the Force as some mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
So who's kind of like who's really hyper masculine, who's not really going to know what to
Yeah.
do with the sensitive kid.
Yeah.
And then you can imagine Leia and Han arguing every 5 seconds.
Yeah,
And
totally.
him storming out, going to the Falcon and buggering off.
Yeah.
And then she runs off to be a general
Which
to get
is
away
what-
from
yeah,
it.
exactly.
And he's
Han
left
leaves
by
as well,
himself
yeah.
for Snoke to basically be a giant predator.
yeah.
And then they ship him off to and they ship him off to Luke, who is terrifying. Luke's terrifying.
Yeah.
Who's still
And
discovering
also, I
his
don't
own
think
abilities.
I don't think Ben is
Is
the
it
kind of
no-
person that follows authority. Talking of Luke, by the way, that is actually Mark Hamill. That character there.
That weird little leprechaun.
Yeah, that's Mark Hamill's
So
only
if you're listening to
CGI
this and you
contribution to this.
you don't know where we are, we're at Canto Bight in the casino, and there's BB-8 talking to what can only be described as a Harry Potter-esque leprechaun.
You know
it's
what?
very Harry Potter. This.
I agree.
Well, it looks like a BBC Doctor Who kind of Christmas special, this thing.
Yeah,
but
it does.
also, I actually have more respect for this scene now, having seen the making of documentary, because the amount of effort that went in to these sequences, the creature effects are insane. I mean, there's stuff in there that you just assume is CGI all the way through the film. There's so many shots
Ask you a
that
question.
look like CGI and they're actually real.
Can I ask
and
you a
it's just
question?
incredible.
Was it needed?
Was it needed?
Yeah.
What, this location?
Everything about this whole.
Yes and no.
The-
I mean,
the-
I
First of all,
They went
it
into
sets
the-
up the favia. This is what they called favias
So
or
I'm
something
talking
like that.
about the props, the
I mean, it makes a massive. Yeah,
creatures.
it's massively important if you can actually make something out of
Yeah,
real.
but why? Why?
Because then the actors can interact with it, and it's a living,
No,
immersive
but it's
environment.
one shot of the camera going through the casino to see all these guys.
Yes.
There's no pivotal narrative plot point for that to be important.
I see what you're saying, but
So
if
it's
you
like a
put the
bunch of
characters in that
superfluous effort.
environment, it's just it comes to life. Yeah, it makes the actors give a better performance.
They had to show the affluence.
Richer.
They
Yeah.
had to show that the money behind the war machine.
Yeah,
Okay,
these
good
people are
point.
all profiting off
The
war
profiteers, yeah.
or
And it
gambling.
makes what DJ says later after you've seen all this stuff, it makes it
The master culprit.
even more disgusting, really.
Yeah, there's Lily Cole.
And when they juxtapose it with the slave kids as well, you really do get that sense of the corruption
Yeah.
and the disgust, really. And Lily
Yeah.
Cole, yeah. Do you know what? I saw her.
Did you?
Yeah, I was wandering around Exmouth Market, actually.
Wow,
She was just walking down the street looking fabulous.
cool.
You see, Lily Cole
She's
was
quite a
just-
recognisable person. There's nobody, she's got quite an unusual face, which we've discussed before. But we thought they should have
Yeah.
used her better in this film because her eyes are quite far apart, and they could have turned it into like a kind of special mask. But, do you know what I mean? Her eyes are really far. They're kind of. She's the only person who
I was
can look
waiting for you to say it,
hammerhead
but
shark
it's
in the face with both eyes.
She was looking
Oh,
at.
come on.
She was
I don't
looking
think
at,
she's a very interesting looking person.
She was
I'm not
looking
saying
at
she-
Rose and Finn with intrigue, and she says to the guy at
Yes.
the Master Code Break, "Do you think she was waiting for someone, or like why is she given that amount of screen time?"
I don't know, but
It's an interesting point.
I
he
agree,
doesn't know. It's because
actually.
he's just a gambler.
I
He's
thought
just like I reckon we'll see him, the code breaker,
was
in
he
another
the
story.
Master Codebreaker, or was...
No, he is the master codebreaker, but you know the DJ character is just Poundland, master codebreaker. Like just a cheap kind of
Cheap
imitation. Yeah,
She kicked ass on this. So the guy that was
Training her.
training
yeah.
her, 3 months or a month
Yeah.
to train her, and she did it in 3
Yeah.
days.
you sign up for this movie to play like a lightsaber wielding character in a Star Wars
Bojitsu, I
film.
think it's called,
Yeah,
staff
and it's so physical. She's like works so hard. I think she had the most shooting days than any other character in the movie. But the same thing happened to Luke Skywalker in. That's great. That's so good. Look how good those
Look at
are.
their legs. Look at their legs, though. They're brilliant.
I know.
Oh, you make
They're
it-
actually really big. They're like 6 foot.
Are they?
Yeah, but obviously they've done it in such a way where they look small. It's like the Lord of the Rings trick.
I'm just waiting for you to say... I'm waiting for us to have the Mary Sue argument. I'm just waiting for it. I thought
Do you
were gonna
guys
say
want
it
to?
there.
Well, what's going on now? What scene is it now?
Well, I used to think that, but I don't anymore.
Well, do you want to have the conversation that you guys had? Because before we started playing around with the film, and I was just setting up mics, Bradie and Jude got involved in an intense conversation about the Mary Sue thing,
He
which
mentioned
we.
Sidious there, just saying.
I know he does name check Sidious. Would you like to go over that again, please? Because you made a fantastic point.
Do you want to start, Jeez?
I was saying
I'm
there
gonna
was a
go get some
podcast.
beers.
Go on then. I was saying there was
Where
a fridge in the kitchen.
Okay, be right back.
Where else would a fridge be? I was saying that we did a podcast, a reaction show, and I said, and I quote in the podcast, there's a type of character. There's nothing to do with gender.
Yeah, right.
It could have been a boy. It would have been the same. If it was Kylo Ren, I would have been pissed off. Someone
so
with same.
rubbish.
No, it's true.
Anakin.
You're attacking me. You're saying I'm not. Unbelievable. This is a dangerous path to go down. I was just saying, I couldn't understand why she had so much power out of nowhere. No training. Okay, Luke had what? A few days training?
A handful of days.
Handful of days.
And
It's a handful of
Anakin.
days more than Ray had.
Yeah.
Right? She had nothing. She had no training whatsoever.
She had the same full sensitivity that Anakin did.
Oh, she's got more.
That
She's got more
Kylo
because she is
did.
the balance. So I understand. So the second time I went to see the film, I understand that, and light rises to meet it. Direct quote from Snoke. Snoke explained it to me. First time I went to see it, I was just blown away, going, "What the hell is this?" And I came away confused. You got it. You got it the first time we saw it. Where it was like there's an unbalance because Kylo Ren is so powerful because he's just dark.
Yeah, Luke's
And then
gone, and
Luke's
therefore
gone, and then Ray comes
the
up.
Force has
So the
chosen
second time I
someone
went to
to
see
take
it, I was
the
like, no,
place.
that was totally wrong. She's not Mary Sue. She's like, that's explained. There's an explanation there. it was nothing to do with she's a girl.
No,
I'm not.
No, and I didn't level that accusation at you. I was just saying that generally speaking, in like sci-fi or in kind of like in fiction in general, when you introduce the male character who's incredibly powerful and he has this
Nobody
natural
questions
talent,
it.
no one has a problem with it.
No.
The minute you introduce a woman who possesses what are considered stereotypically masculine traits like strength and ability, because apparently they're inherently masculine.
2 words:
Then-
Ahsoka Tano.
Do you know who that is?
favourite character.
No.
See, this is where
She's
I
my
also...
favourite character in Star Wars.
This is the thing. It's from like a
Black
cartoon.
faces.
Okay, yeah, but I know who
No,
he's talking about.
my
But I've never
favourite-
seen
my
the movie.
favourite
Therefore I don't pay
character-
attention.
In Star Wars is Ahsoka. I love her. Didn't question. She just came on the scene.
Is she a grey Jedi?
No, she was Anakin's Padawan, and then she's in
wait.
Rebels, and she just absolutely kicks ass.
Yeah.
She's got
She's got to have a
Twilight.
solo
She's got the
film.
2 big tails
I
coming
was going
up
to say,
her
she
head.
got the...
Blue and white.
I've seen
Probably
her.
seen
If
her
you want to
before.
see an Ahsoka
Ghost
film,
face.
go on our Instagram.
It's weird.
Pop in the comments, "Holler City of Squalor." Just pick that out the sky. Pop that in our Instagram. We want to know if you want to see a Ahsoka film. She's the best.
Okay. Will you be soaking wet when you see that film?
Billy Lord. I think she's got my roundness of face and no chin.
Oh, if you want to see Jude doing a Billy Lord cosplay at the next Star Wars event we go to, I'd love to see
I
that.
am currently trying to lose some weight, so I'm not saying Billy Lord's fat, but we've got the same jawline. Say that
God, you're so horrible.
Jesus.
What? There's no right angle going on it whatsoever.
What do you think of Rosie's hair? How did she make it do that?
She
Like,
did it, you know those fringe videos you
She's
see on
like an
YouTube where
engineer.
people.
She really cares about her hair.
Have you ever seen those fringe videos where they try and cut their own fringe on YouTube and just bunch it at the front and get scissors, do that, and then
can't
they're in
say I
shock, and it just goes. I think she tried to do one of those. Here we go, DJ.
Did you like the DJ character? Bradie?
I did. I can't remember where I was reading it, but they were saying about how he purposely gets himself locked up like this because he's homeless and he needs a bit of shut-eye, which is why he's so
That's
annoyed
nice. Yeah.
when they wake him up. He's like, and which is why he gets himself straight back out again. He's like, well, I came
Yeah.
here to sleep. Clearly that's
Good
not
point.
happening.
Love it. This is why we need Bradie on the show. She's like, she takes
am on
up
the show.
idiocy
Yeah.
and she goes, "No, you're not thinking properly. Here's some intelligence. Eat that for breakfast." See that black
can't
ring?
mix- you
See the
can't-
black ring? See the black ring? On his
I'm
fingers?
not sure I agree with you on this one.
I told you this.
Yeah, I think so.
It's noted in the book. It's in the.
It's in the visual guide, I'm afraid.
Really?
Yeah. I always
No,
buy the
wait.
visual guide books for the films.
Hang on.
It's
So
It's the
you
same-
tell me about the ring and then I'll tell you what I heard.
So the ring that Snoke has on his finger,
Yeah.
and the ring that DJ has on his finger is the same. I'm not saying it's the same ring. I'm saying it's of the same parentage or
Same rock
heritage.
or same stone.
Yeah, and that stone comes from Vader's castle.
There's a guy in a cell there with a tux on. I never noticed that before.
It's like the sea
What have you
creature
heard?
they've
What have you
got.
heard?
They've got coming out of the water when Ray's on the island. Have you seen
Yeah.
that in the back? I love that
Yeah,
detail.
nice little touches, aren't
Yeah.
they? But by the way, that was a real, no
Sea
joke,
monster.
actual real rubber puppet thing, which they moved in the water, no joke.
That's cool.
They
I like
flew
that.
it all the way to Ireland to do that.
Amazing.
That's your story about me.
But again, they were going, like I said, they were going to do those. They were going to do the milk cow, sea cows. I think.
Mm.
They,
I've got to admit, I do like his
So they're going to do
character.
that with real
He's doing that.
CGI, and then.
Yeah,
oh
he's
yeah, he's got
great.
stuttering. Yeah, it's kind of nice.
So back to the ring. So I heard that the ring on Snoke's finger is from Vader's castle, but the ring DJ is wearing is made of amber and it's from somewhere. Is it called like Tanistry or is that the same place?
No,
I'm not sure.
Mustafar is where Vader's castle is. Okay, all right, I'll buy that.
I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying that's what I've.
Do you think
read.
we'll see DJ again?
Yeah, I think so.
100%.
Absolutely. I mean, he's just too intriguing as a character.
Can I just say,
Go.
those are real, actual
Oh, I love
puppets which you can stroke and stuff like that. The heads,
amazing.
anyway. So good.
So my
Such good work by Neil Scanlon and his team.
my mate, his mum works at a city farm in London, and the llamas on that
The Hackney
farm
one?
they're used in Star Wars movie.
Wow.
No way!
Yeah, 100%.
What film?
Oh God, I asked him and he didn't
I've
know
met
because
those
he's not
llamas.
a Star. He's not a
Is
Star
this
Wars
the
fan.
Hackney City Farm?
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. Go to Hackney City Farm. It's near Columbia
Vauxhall.
Road.
No. Oh wait. Oh no, because the one near Vauxhall, there's a city farm there.
Right. No, that's not the one I've been to.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
But,
Well,
but
okay.
apparently they use the llamas. I mean, to be honest, they probably use llamas from all over.
Yeah,
But
llamas
apparently
are
they use
cute.
them from the Vauxhall City Farm. Yeah.
That's good. Well, they dressed them up today
I asked him for
because they dressed up an
details.
elephant for the original Star Wars movie for the Banthas.
Really?
Those elephants with just big masks put on them and cloaks all over them. Yeah. Very
Amazing.
effective, huh?
This is. I feel like we're in prequel era.
I kind of agree with you.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I think that's why it feels a little out of place for
Probably
me.
one of the reasons why this
It
film
was
feels so
unnecessary.
long
It's
as
kind
well. This big crazy chase scene.
Even the clothes, those guards look really prequel-esque, like from the build.
They do, but they look a bit. Like I say, it's like Fifth Element and Doctor
Yeah.
Who.
Going back to DJ,
That bit's a bit annoying.
It wasn't necessary.
So you know the Master Codebreaker with the white jacket?
Yeah.
He's the epitome of slickness, and you could not get any more juxtaposed.
I reckon-
with DJ.
Yeah,
That is
true.
Ryan Johnson's creation.
Even with the stutter, I think down to that detail.
Yeah.
You know, because he turns to not now.
He's got the little grey streak like me as well.
Yeah.
So I could cosplay as him.
Isn't that's called something, isn't it? What's it called?
What's it called?
You relate
it's
to
It's genuine. It's not like
I know
I
what
don't
you
fake
mean.
it.
You're related to a
You know
certain
how you have like a widow's
gene-
peak? There's
yeah.
a word for You're
related to a certain.
I'm a wizard.
No.
You're a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm aware. What am I? Got a grey streak.
What am I?
We'll have to.
What am I?
If anyone knows
If
what I am,
that's the
get
best
in
thing
touch.
I've ever heard on the
Show.
podcast. What am I?
That's this week's episode title.
There you go.
What am I? So, okay, you're saying it's a genetic trait. Maybe I'm a
Yeah,
Jedi.
you're part of a special group of people.
Well, I always knew that, mate.
If you know what the grey cowlick thing is, then
Get in touch with us, please. Yeah. I thought I'd be completely silver by now, but I've managed to keep exclusively to that bit there.
It's very X-Men. I like it.
Yeah, Rogue. My nickname was Rogue when I was working at a pub.
My nickname is now.
Slaphead.
No, that's
Deirdre Rashid Slaphead.
Deirdre Rashid Slaphead. There's not even an X-Men. I was going
Reg
for the
from
Coronation
Street, who used to run the supermarket.
Shut up! Unbelievable. Just a slaphead. That's my nickname. Unbelievable. There you go. If you're wondering what slap means.
I think you've still got hair though, and it's all over your head. You may as well try and grow it and have like a kind of Mel Sniff like mullet.
Definitely don't
I've
do
got
it.
hair everywhere, but it's so fine and so blonde.
Yeah.
That it is. I look like I've put Pritt stick on the top of my head and rolled around in the barbers. It's literally.
We've all done it. We've all done it.
Except me, I haven't.
I was going to say, have we? Have we?
Oh yeah, we have.
No, there's nothing worse than when a guy's going bald and he just
I'm
keeps.
going to cut the podcast so
It's like it'll come
it just
back, it'll
finishes
come
after you say bold. Yeah. He's hanging on to
This is
the idea.
thing. I was in.
Shave,
I was
guys,
in
shave it
Oxford
off.
Street in London. I went to buy some clothes. You know those like 360 mirror like
Yeah, changing rooms.
changing rooms.
Yeah.
I was in there and I looked at myself. I caught a glimpse of myself from the side, and I thought if that was anyone else, I'd be taking the piss out of them.
You thought
I'd be
Snoke
saying
had come
what
in the
a
fucking
knob.
room, didn't you?
Yeah, I went straight out, barber. He went, what are you having? I said 0, all over, please.
Good.
Regretted that when I got
Yeah.
home.
Because I bet
Holly thought
I bet
so.
Holly was not happy with that. This is quite nice, where he manages to communicate with Leia
Yeah.
via the Force while she's in a coma.
Okay.
If you
We're
look at the
talking
computer,
about-
by the way, when it's actually shot of her, you see her her brain activity starts going crazy. Look at the screen.
I love this little
Oh,
touch.
that's great. That is great.
Look, you see the screen on her dome.
Yeah. Sorry, Brady, what are you saying, mate?
So I was going to say about how everyone says that, you know, how Kylo and Rey's kind of force bond and the way they communicate telepathically has never been done. It's been done since what was it, Empire Strikes Back?
Good point.
I mean, it's been
It
done
has.
since episode.
Well, yeah, it has,
5.
but it's never been presented in this way, where you physically see them.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Just a bit. What is his trousers about?
Oh, here we go. And you couldn't certainly enjoy it, could you, Jude?
You can go back and pause it if you want. Screenshot it.
Brady started playing with her hair the minute he came on, which is actually a telltale sign of flirting. She went properly curling her hair around her fingers. Then. Look at the scar going down his chest, though. It was all.
Oh, she really did him, didn't she? Do you think the trousers were specially made for him because he hasn't got a six-pack?
No.
No, I don't know. He has a very high belt anyway.
You know, he used to be in the Navy.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
It's your greatest weakness. Looking for them.
He's one of the best actors in
He's phenomenal.
in the series now, I think.
He's got so much emotion in his face.
Yeah.
Where does this rank Brady in terms of Star Wars filmage for you? Where does it come in the league of Star Wars?
We're counting Rogue One.
Now you've
as
seen
well.
Rogue One. What did you think of Rogue One?
I thought it was phenomenal. I really loved the way it was shot. It was so gritty.
Correct.
It was great. I loved it. I love the characters as well.
Green lightsaber.
He's terrifying.
I know.
He's absolutely terrifying.
But this is the exaggeration from Kylo Ren's memory, right? This is his side of the story.
Right, but I still think waking up to see him hovering
Anyone-
over you with a
anyone
lightsaber
waking
is
up.
pretty terrifying.
Okay. I agree.
I mean,
I mean, that's how he remembers it, because that's how scared he was.
Yeah. So the original scar, by the way, went across his nose,
It's the only way to become.
and yeah, the original scar went across his nose, but Ryan
It looks
Johnson
stupid,
moved it
didn't it?
because he said
Yeah.
to have the scar going over there would just aesthetically
Yeah.
spoil the face.
He wouldn't look as pretty.
Nah. I genuinely thought this was. This might be the first movie, one of the first Star Wars movies where someone doesn't lose a limb. Because usually it's quite a kind of.
I'd say Akbar's in all kinds of bits in space.
Well, also Snoke as well.
Yeah.
I suppose he kind of loses a limb.
Yeah.
He loses a couple of hands.
What did you
Yeah.
make of Brady? What did you make of this weird dark
cave.
side tunnel, the equivalent of the cave from Empire Strikes Back?
Love that siege
Well, the fact that
And
the
the
light,
kind of
the light's
wall of endless
represented-
mirrors.
The light that's represented by, I'm just going to say it, by phallic shafts of light, and then the dark is represented by a black.
Phallic
I think you
shafts
got-
of light.
Apparently,
Too much.
Where's the phallic
You've got
stuff?
something going on. Like, what? Are we not seeing this?
I never saw a phallic symbol.
If you went because I've read quite a lot of essays and stuff that look at Star Wars in terms of more like a literary trope kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they tend to draw.
Analyse this.
And they draw like the use of red, and I mean, Jude will tell you when you use certain types of imagery when you're doing art direction, sometimes they're shortcuts for other things, and the connotations that come with certain types of imagery are there for a reason. And if you look at Star Wars as kind of like a fantasy or even like a fairy tale type thing, certain symbols mean certain things. I'm not sure how far I agree with the.
If you were standing,
Let's push it to the absolute
I really don't want
max
to.
on it.
if you were standing there and you had all those versions of you before you, what would you do?
A Mexican wave.
Exactly. Yeah, you'd just be stupid, wouldn't you? You'd go like, hey, and just see the
Helicopter. What?
yeah. It's a great idea. I love how they're all facing each other as
So
well.
what do you think she sees here?
Well, she asked to see her parents, but she
And
sees
what-
herself.
Does she just see herself?
My parents. Please.
I think it's just
Is it
literally
one
saying
figure?
you're
'Cause
alone.
It looks like two.
It does, and then they sort of
Merge.
merge. This could just be because
And then she sees herself.
I remember just sitting there, bated breath. Thinking,
yeah,
"Here we
nobody
go."
was breathing in the cinema at this point.
I thought it was going to be Luke bursting out of the thing. What are you doing here? So remember the
look at
poetry
this, look.
Empire.
What's just happened to her? She doesn't go to Luke Skywalker. She goes to Kylo Ren, her enemy, for
Well,
help.
because Luke's just doesn't want to know.
Exactly. She gets all the nurturing
Okay, but you could look
from
at
Luke,
Empire.
from Kylo Ren, not from
I know.
Luke, she can't confide in Luke.
But she
Coming
gets
up, by the way.
betrayed by Kylo later on.
Not really. That's kind of about desperation. It's not a betrayal. He gives her a choice and she chooses to grab the lightsaber.
Gives her
The
wrong-
explosion that
I
comes up
agree.
now
It wasn't much of a
is,
choice.
is actual practical effect. So they built the
Really?
hut in the studio.
Amazing.
In fact, they built the whole,
Going for the hand
all the
touch.
huts. The bit when he puts his hand out and all the bricks come out the walls, that's all real. And then it's all done in one shot. Kylo Ren slips out, Adam Driver slips out the shot.
yeah.
Camera pulls back and he's vanished. So, genius, really.
Can we
Genius
just
direction.
talk a little bit about the Empire cave scene versus the Rey tunnel scene?
Oh, hang on a minute. I want to hear the boom when they touch fingers because it's slightly. Get nice and loud. Listen to the. That's amazing. That's particles across the galaxy resonating as these two fingers touch.
You can get
Incredible.
more.
They can feel each other, right?
I
Yeah.
mean, that's tension right there, isn't it?
And then she gets so annoyed when Luke bursts in, like when your parents catch you making out in your bedroom.
I noticed something there. He did have a smile on his face, Luke. So you're right about the party scene before.
Yeah. No, it wasn't the party scene before. What it was a scene where he's meditating and talking to Leia through the Force.
Yeah.
And he decides that he does need to go back with her. He does need to fight the First Order. He's going to find her. And then he finds her
that.
touching hands with Kylo
And then
Ren.
he changes his mind.
Yeah, of course he does. He's that
Could have been.
I'm really glad they took that out.
I love it. One-handed, like his dad.
close. I love when he falls as well. He uses the Force to sort of stop himself from landing on the floor. Watch. There we go.
That's the first time he's used the Force.
Yeah.
Apart from communicating with Leia.
Tell me the truth.
She's as strong as Luke.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Sorry,
also
can't use the word strong. As open as
Yes, you
Luke.
can. But I mean, he's cut himself off for the Force. He hasn't been practicing,
Yeah.
so yeah. But she's not stronger than Kylo. Like in the forest, in the Force Awakens, he's on the defense. She's on the offense. He's putting in as much energy as he needs to keep her at bay, but
Yeah.
he's not actually cutting her down.
Well,
He's
she-
not torturing her the way he was
She
torturing
kind of
Finn.
meditates, doesn't she? And then she overpowers him.
Because Snoke says, "Bring her to me," so he doesn't want to kill her.
I don't think that's why he doesn't want to kill her. Because he says to her at the end, like, he could quite easily push her over the edge. But he's saying you need a teacher.
Yeah.
So it's like...
I'll train you in good, man. Okay, mate, okay. Violently shaken me. Now we get the truth. This is Luke Skywalker's version of
No,
events.
we don't get the truth. We get Luke Skywalker's version.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing.
Okay. Neither of them are telling the truth.
That's true.
You failed by thinking his choice was made. It wasn't.
It's a really interesting predicament. She goes off to try and rescue him. But then she fails as well.
Well, they both fail, though.
They all fail. Everyone fails. Finn and Rose fail their mission.
Well, it depends how you class failure, really, because failure in the sense that what they all planned to happen didn't come about. But in the grand scheme of things, you obviously the Force is like, no, I've got the grand plan. You guys can go along with what I think.
Right.
There's no self-determination.
Okay. How do you like? Do you like Daisy Ridley as a character? I mean, do you like Rey as a character? You're right behind her. You like cheering with her.
I think she's awesome.
Because when she came along in The Force Awakens, I totally accepted her like immediately. I don't know where all the because the people had a problem with there was a lot of, well, not a lot, but a small percentage of people, pathetic people, had a problem with the fact that Finn was black.
Yeah.
There are some people had a problem with the fact that they think it's like political correctness. That is a reason for a female lead. I think it's fucking about time, really.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference, really, what your gender is. And then the Han Solo, Poe Dameron guy, of course, which we know you're not very fond of. But Rey is you're rooting for her, right?
I like her. I like how she's evolving as a character.
I do too.
I like that
can't
she
take my
started
eyes
off-
off when she's on the screen. I'm
know.
really drawn in by her.
I like that she started off as a girl and now she's
Yeah.
progressing into like, you know, a more autonomous woman, but also she's not binary. She's not fully in the light side camp. She's actually a bit of both.
Wasn't it so good to see Yoda? Did you get choked up or cry at any point when you saw The Last Jedi?
I loved it when Yoda came on the screen.
This choked me up.
I was pretty sure I was wiping tears out my eyes next to you.
Read into that what you will. But it was, even that finger coming up.
So on the... he's going to bang his stick on the floor to do that.
You're a sexual deviant, Bradie.
On the actual
Simon Blow.
making of, you see that he's supposed to bang his stick on the floor to do that, and then Ryan Johnson says, I've got an idea, that he just does it with one finger.
Yoda.
I love how why has Luke changed his costume to ceremoniously burn the tree?
I don't know, he keeps on doing it. He keeps on putting on those robes.
He's clearly got like an affinity with the old Jedi ways.
Yeah. Having Rey around's just going to remind him what it was like to be a master as well.
And this is really sweet.
Yeah.
I feel like we're back in Empire. I love it.
They got the original mould, and they re-sculpted as closely as they could the Empire.
Why didn't they do that in the bloody prequel?
Because no one cares.
Because George Lucas thinks that CGI can solve all the problems in the world, and it can't solve problems of bad acting and an awful story. So do you know about the books?
I don't.
So they're not in that library.
Oh no! Oh, I thought you were talking about the Star Wars novels.
No.
Oh yeah,
Did you notice that they're gone? Yeah, because that's what he means. Like,
yeah.
That library contains nothing the girl Rey does not already possess.
So what happened there? Can I ask a question? He's a ghost. He physically hit him, and there was a knock on the head.
Yeah, because it's like when they touched hands a moment ago. He is basically the Force is personified, created atoms.
Yeah. So this is my next question. He looks more.
He's not see-through. He's real.
Yeah, but in the original, they were all see-through.
They were see-through.
Yeah. So, question.
Okay.
You know the script we read out for the Return of Jedi?
Yeah.
All the ghosts come back at the end.
And fight
is that a possibility in 9?
Oh my god!
He's getting more real than ghosts.
Yeah, but what are they going to do? Like dig up Alec Guinness? And I'd love to do that. Actually,
did you see Rogue One?
I love Alec Guinness.
Did you see Rogue One?
Yeah.
Peter Cushing,
yeah.
CGI.
Pretty good.
Do that.
I bet you got excited by that when you saw the. Because it must have been a complete surprise to you. You had no idea that Peter Cushing was going to be in that movie. And then,
yeah. Oh my god, that was incredible.
I mean,
that was actually incredible.
What about the bit where Darth Vader turned up at the end and turned his lightsaber on? Did you
It was brilliant.
Scream?
Absolutely
Squeal or whatever?
brilliant.
How good is it, though?
It's so good.
Because I was supposed to see it with Jude, and then Jude was on holiday, so I ended up seeing it like at a midnight screening by myself. And I just was next to this random man, and we were both going. It's having like a. Hyperventilating in the cinema next to a stranger.
Where'd you get the puzzle glass?
It's amber. His ring's amber.
It's amber.
I want it to be Snoke.
But it's amber. You can see it's amber.
Hazy and smelt, mate.
Yeah.
We gave you a word. You get paid. That should be enough. Guys, I want to keep helping. But you know something? No doing.
No doing.
He's just such a fabulous actor.
Yeah, he is. I like him in that Bond film when
If you could have any actor in a Star Wars film, who would you have?
When you say have, what do you mean?
Well,
you can cast.
You can like past, dead, present, pluck and pop them.
Really? Past, dead or present? Wow.
God, that's hard.
Okay, I'll
Past
think about
and
it.
dead, yeah.
Carrie Fisher.
I think she's done a few, hasn't she?
What?
She's already done a few, hasn't she?
I thought you said if you could have them back.
Oh no,
I mean,
like
pick a
any
random actor from history, present or past, and
Bring him
cast him
in.
in Star Wars.
Pop them in.
Oh, okay.
Like
I
Anthony
thought you were like, if you could have them back.
You've got a great
And I was like,
imagination, Brady. Going for Carrie Fisher, who's done something like
pushing the boundaries of
5
She's
Star
given
Wars
up.
films.
She's like, how much longer we got?
Oh God, who would I pick?
I'd go Marlon Brando.
Oh damn yeah.
You
he's
imagine
great.
Marlon Brando is like he's his Superman, looking all majestic in his lovely robes and stuff.
I'd have
Shock of white hair.
Ian Bill from EastEnders.
as the most slimiest Imperial officer
exactly.
imaginable. Yeah. Ian Peel.
I was just trying to think of the most random. I don't even know who the guy's name
I'd
is.
have Helen Mirren, but on the Empire side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She would have been great as Hux's character. Get rid of Hux, he's too young. He's way too young. You need an old female lead for that.
You do.
By the way, if you watch Peter Rabbit, he's basically playing Hux. It's the same character. It's still stroppy, moaning at a rabbit.
That's such a halo. God, look at that.
Tell us that we have a plan. That there's hope.
When I served under Leia.
Why is she keeping it such a secret?
I agree, actually.
Is it
I'm not...
because she doesn't want any Imperial spies to know?
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Okay.
And he's not exactly...
Because we
coming across as
suspected,
being
when going into
trustful.
this movie, we were talking about predictions, and our prediction was that she was actually a double agent. She's actually like loyal to Snoke, and she's infiltrated, and she's
That would have
evil.
been great, actually.
Oh, I'm glad you think so, but we didn't get it. And in the end, I really sad she got killed off.
I think
really sad.
it's part of a twist, though. You're led to believe that until she becomes the hero of everything.
Maybe you are, yeah.
Unarmed, unshielded. We abandon this cruiser. We're done. We don't stand a chance.
I love how Billy Lord is now like the main female rebel.
Get this man.
She is, comics is, yeah.
So we follow a girl on Instagram called Liv.
Apart from Ray.
But no, but she's
Oh
not.
yeah, Living Like Leia on Instagram.
Yeah.
Amazing young woman who spends so much of her life dressing up like Princess Leia and Billy Lord's character Connix, and just going around doing good things for charities.
Billy Lord, by
Raising
the
a
way,
lot of money.
Amazing.
likes her stuff all the time.
I don't actually know her name, I just know her as Living Like Leia.
Yeah, Liv is her name.
Is it
Hence the living.
Oh, I see.
We need
Right.
to do a charity shout out at the end of this show, by the way, for Stormtrooper Run.
Yes, we do. We definitely do. First time you ever see that they've got a lifeboat or whatever it is.
Or is it basically
It's
a
very
coffin?
coffin-like, isn't
I'm
it?
sure you'll see that in Solo.
Actually, you know what it reminds me of?
Snow White.
Yes. E.T. Don't they stick him in that at the
no.
end of E.T. as well? He can't
Snow
be dead.
bloody white with the rose, but it's like
Yeah.
observations. Your observations are
Off
unbelievable.
the
I
chain.
can't take. I really can't
Take the
take
credit.
all. I can't.
Can't take the
I
credit.
can't.
It's
And
all
I'll
the-
tell you if you want. If
It's all the books you've read on
If
this.
anyone, which I'm sure tons of people are, but
Yeah.
if anybody is actually interested in any of the essays around like the heroine's journey and like fairy tales and all that kind of stuff with Star Wars,
Go to the blog Jude Gaydon.
go to Tumblr and look up. There's a woman called Otzi, I think her name is. It's OHTZE, and she's written a 17,000 word essay, a 15,000 word essay. She's actually a professional illustrator,
Wow.
but she's got loads of essays on this stuff. I mean, you'll find a lot of it on YouTube anyway.
So can I just ask a question? So when she comes in there like Snow White and her prince is leaning over her,
Yeah.
there's
You
a
noticed
moment-
then she was smiling when she saw him, and then she looked at his face. He was completely blank, and her smile completely faded.
Yeah, because she's gone in there on faith, on
Well,
hope.
he had a triple chin for a start, but anyway.
Oh, come
the way
on.
he was looking, the angle was like that.
Oh, gee.
Saying.
All right, Jude.
He's very much about the
Comedy into
aesthetics.
somewhere.
He has, yeah.
They are trying to save us. This is our best chance for escape. We have to get Finn and Rose all the time.
The survival of the resistance.
We're doing a Star Wars
I
like
think
the Star
Doug
Wars
coloured her
Live.
eyes as well as her hair.
Right now.
No, we will show.
What?
Pub.
We're doing a what?
Star Wars Live.
Oh, well, yeah, we were planning to. We're looking at the possibility of doing a live episode.
Nice.
Audience, we'll like rent out the Soho Theatre or something. 100 people. We'll just have
That sounds awesome.
90 minutes of fun. It'll be. I think we should
You're
go
on
into
the
it-
show.
We should go into it. We
Congratulations.
should treat it like Tiz was or Live in
Hate
Kicking. It
this
should
bit,
just be
the
like
iron. The
anything
iron
can happen.
bit. It's just
that-
ridiculous.
It was funny though. Did
It was
not
funny.
make you chuckle?
Yeah, it did make me laugh.
Ruining Star Wars.
Yeah, they said if
fanboy.
any more outbursts like that, sir, we'll ask you to leave.
Yeah.
This is good. Stick a beer on it upside down. If you listen, BB-8 does his best mouse droid impression.
Good point.
See? He's trying his best to look convincing.
I hate that little
Evil
droid.
BB-8.
Yeah.
E89 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
They did the same thing actually with the droids in Rogue One, where you see KS
K2SO.
K2SO,
Ah.
and the way that the way he moves, he kind of walks in a lolloping fashion, and the other droid is very kind of upright and imperial.
He's got more swagger and everything. He's more relaxed.
More human.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got to say, this is my favourite scene.
Yeah, she gets all up in his person's face.
He's calling Ben as well.
Yeah, and she's allowed to. He doesn't
Yeah.
completely lose it when she says it.
But she called him Kylo to Luke Skywalker, and now she's calling him Ben. Do it. You thought they were going to kiss? Do it.
Because of what I saw, I don't know the country.
I imagined when they get to the top of the lift, it opens up, Snoke sitting on the seat, and they're just in full snog mode. He's like, what's going on?
There is quite a teenage star-crossed lovers thing going on there.
Yeah.
You should read Lost Stars.
Two houses, both
Star
alike in
Wars
dignity.
Fair Verona?
Yeah, where we lay our scene. On the supremacy where we lay our scene. So her outfit here is inspired by the Jedi as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of like a Jedi
And
robes
apparently
thing.
Padme as well.
Oh, really?
Apparently
cool.
at the end of, when she
Gives
confronts
birth.
Anakin and she's like, come
Yes.
away.
What would you do?
Apparently
What would
they
you do
wear
if
similar stuff.
Padme frozen egg,
Oh God.
episode 9,
Frozen egg.
Yeah.
Oh, and then like she freezes
No.
it.
freezes
Okay, I
it?
think you meant
Frozen
frozen
Frozen boiled egg.
Frozen egg at Anakin. Yeah, that's going to take him down.
What a random thing. What'd you do, right?
When my mum used to say, I thought it might be
egg.
I thought it might be a phrase because my mum used to say, "Oh, that kid was throwing a wobbler," and that generally means
yeah.
like having tantrum. Might be throws an egg. I got home late last night. And my mum threw an egg.
Literally. So she what would you do if she had frozen an egg? There's a flashback scene in episode 9, Padme going, oh, while you're at it, I'm dying.
And write a strongly worded letter to JJ
Can
Abrams.
you imagine how bad would that be?
A lot of Jude's questions begin with, "What would you do if?" And he gives you the most ridiculous thing
Because
you've ever heard.
it's all about the reaction.
I feel like that's what episode 9, what's going to happen is basically that's all it's going to be.
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams, Black Room. It's like the text comes up, spans down J.J. Abrams in. What would you do if, right? And he just narrates the
And
thing.
every single one of them, "What would you do if?" is preceded by the phrase, and then what happens is
Yeah.
for 2.5 hours.
The yellow text scrolls up. What would you do if?
So they're on the bridge, are they? They've actually got hold of the bridge of the ship.
Now, whatever.
Oh, for a minute I was like, oh, and they're in. And they get that close and it's just all fucking...
I would have
For
just shot.
nothing.
What happens if you just shoot it?
Yeah, exactly. Presumably that would cause enough damage to ruin it. This is great where Leia comes in. Everybody's least expecting Leia.
More red. There's red all over it.
All the red.
Red pipes and stuff.
I mean, we get it because red represents the dark side as well.
Yeah. The fella
if you
in
wanna-
white is quite a well-known actor as well, but unfortunately all his lines have been cut.
Is that from The Office?
Yes, it's Finch from The Office.
Finchy from The
Finchy from The
Office.
Office, yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I couldn't remember what he
Kiss
said.
me
You're
on the
right.
nose.
He is Finchy. Yeah.
It was at that moment when I thought, oh God, yeah, Phasma.
Yeah. Me
She's
too.
a
I
thing.
completely forgot. We said about this. We completely forgot she existed as a character. Talks about my mum there.
Do you know when you said you like her outfits? Do you even like what she's wearing on her head?
Apart from this one. Everything else was fabulous.
All is forgiven in this scene.
Yeah, this like
They're all escaping in their sausage rolls now. They're all getting inside a sausage roll and flying away.
I like him.
This bit's really nice.
That kind of annoyed me. The fact that she's so cool with the fact that he killed everyone. in that. It's like he can do no
Oh,
wrong.
he's just a naughty boy. He just
Exactly.
needs a bit of time out. He needs a time
This
out.
is all good. This
Exactly.
bit though, it's kind of
I
like
think.
we both know one of us has to stay behind, and Leia should be going. No, it should be me.
You taught me how.
And it's like she's just cool with her staying behind to kill herself. What's that about?
Can't they just set the bloody ship to drive on autopilot? They need to be on board it.
Well, if she hadn't been, we wouldn't have got one of the greatest scenes in Star Wars when it turns, she blasts it
Fires
through,
it-
and there's
fires it
that
into
dead
the thing.
silence.
Yeah.
What is the, can I ask you a
We
question?
were talking about this last week. It's so good. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, go for it.
What's the point of Holdo? What is the point of her?
Because she looks like her
Never met her
mother,
before.
and
Yeah.
she saves all the people.
She has to be the
Thing.
leader of the rebellion for the time that Leia's out.
Why couldn't it have been Akbar?
Because it's the heroine's
Because,
journey, and she ties it
Poe
as an
would not
archetype.
question anything Akbar does. He'd go along with it.
Fair enough. Okay, good
It has to
answer.
be
Good
conflict.
answer.
Because Poe thinks he's going to be promoted, doesn't he? And then he finds out.
I've got a big stick
actually,
and I'm just doing that because it makes it interesting.
Just as he grew stronger,
Here we go.
his equal in the light.
Yeah, but how much do we believe of what Snoke says? Like when he talks about, oh, I bridged your minds, it was all me, blah blah blah. How much of that do we actually believe?
Well, they bridge their
well, you
minds
know
at the
what?
end.
I
That's
no, I
what I'm
believe.
saying.
Yeah, but that's because he joins minds with her in a minute, and I think at this point she learns that knowledge. Whenever she joins minds with somebody,
No, I mean-
she learns new skills,
I get it, but
and
I
she learns the skill
Ooh,
of
that is-
touching
she's
the
sick.
Force.
but
Force calling, I'm going to call it. She learns that skill from Snoke now when he goes into her mind to find out about Luke.
no, but that's what I'm saying.
Brady's
Is
like shaking her finger here. She's desperate
But what
to
I'm
say
saying
something.
is that so Leia and Luke managed to chat to each other via Force Bond without anybody else intervening. In The Force Awakens, Kylo says to her, "Don't worry, I feel it too." They've got this weird; they can enter each other's minds then anyway.
yeah.
So I'm just saying the idea
Well,
of
I
Force
think
Bond
there's that.
predates Snoke.
I
can't
think
believe I
this,
just said
this is
that.
a different thing. The thing where you can actually see the person in front of you.
But Luke and
It's a
Leia
different
didn't
thing.
because he was
No.
hanging off an
What'd
like
you do if they just
a
She
kissed?
said, "I know where he
aerial,"
is.
and she says, "I know where he is."
How big he is.
What'd you do if they just started kissing?
A big long tongue comes
Yeah.
out of Snoke and licks her face like in Alien Resurrection or something.
Crucifixion.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's a really interesting point, Brady, and it screws up all my theories.
Does it?
But thankfully, I can edit it out of the show, and no one will ever know. I'm just kidding. I would not do that.
I mean, you could be right. He could have done it. I mean, if he did, it was stupid because it completely backfired on him.
Hell.
Yeah.
Brady's got a taste for podcasting Star Wars. She's going to set her own show up and be rivals.
Aw.
I've got a title for it.
I told you you'd kick me out.
I got a title for it for your show.
Yeah, what is it?
The Brady Bunch.
Oh Lord, I've never heard that.
Have you not?
So original.
I'm sorry.
She says, "Hey Jude, do you want to join in?" I'll think of one for John.
Hey Jude, nice one, yeah. We've never actually made any Hey Jude jokes in 50 something episodes. We've done like 49 episodes of this.
No.
We've never done it. We've never done Hey Jude jokes.
I'm glad I was here for the first.
Do you think this is?
Jude did it himself, so I'm not sure if it counts.
Yeah, true. Do you think this is Carrie Fisher's finest performance as Leia? This movie?
No.
Really?
No, I loved
Oh.
her in.
Oh, sexist.
I loved her in.
Ageist, I mean.
Which one?
Ageist. I got the ist wrong. Ageist.
Anywhere with it.
I loved her in the originals. She was
Which
great.
is her best one, in your opinion? Like, what, Empire?
I
She's like the
I
whole-
liked
Into
her
the
in,
shoot, fly boy.
I liked her in A New Hope because she was like
Right.
she was really like ballsy. She was gutsy. She like
Okay.
she grabbed the blaster off hand and went,
Yeah.
"Oh, thank you very much. I'll do this."
Yeah,
I liked her.
Like, you've opened the door, now I'm in charge. Yeah.
Ooh.
You know what he should have done? He should have taken his glove off and slapped him with the glove.
Little
That's what
I
he-
honestly, I thought that's what he was
I
going to
thought,
do.
I thought he had done that, and then I realised he hadn't even taken his gloves off.
Look at that white ship in the background.
That's their
Oh,
ship.
their ship,
That's the
of
one
course,
that
yeah.
they got here on.
We got caught. I cannot deal.
I love how they're surprised about this. This stranger you've met. 5 seconds betrays you.
We ran a decloaking scan, and sure enough,
Yeah.
30 resistance transports had just launched from the crew.
So because of him,
Because of them, really.
because of them, yeah, and their failed attempt, now there's a massive consequence of
Yeah.
a huge amount of life lost.
Fire at will.
There's so much going on in the background
Can I
there.
ask a question? How the hell does DJ know that the cruisers are jettisoned? Because he knows nothing. He doesn't know the plan. So why?
He does know the plan.
He does,
because
because
they
they've
were,
been
Rose
talking
and
to
Finn
him the
don't
whole
know
time.
the plan.
Yeah, they do. They were. No, wait. You're right. They don't.
They don't know the plan. All they know is that.
Fucking hell! What?
Plot hole!
No, I'm not. That's a plot hole and a half.
Or it's a twist that's going to become evident in 9.
I hope so, because that is like. I tell you, it's the equivalent
That
of
is a plot hole and a
Exhaust
half.
Port all over again. There'd be a whole film made to just fill the plot hole.
I'm sure someone somewhere knows why that is.
Maybe there's a scene where they communicate with.
It wasn't in the
No,
book.
no. They talk to. There was a communicator in Finn's hand. He was talking to Poe.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he did. BB-8 fires the communicator at him. He catches it. He catches up with
If we were
Poe.
actually watching this film,
Yeah,
we might,
sorry, we would have noticed.
Fair enough.
Do you like this thing he's got? It's basically got like a big magnifying glass you can
Yeah.
look out of a window on. Pretty cool.
Soon they will all be gone.
But why didn't the Snoke just tell Hux that?
All is lost.
Huh? Why didn't Snoke what?
Just
Oh, this bit's great.
Nice. She commands his saber.
Fiery spit of hope. You have the spirit of a true Jedi.
Look at that. One finger.
Yeah.
And because of that, you must die.
You can't see it very clearly, but the lightsaber is a black version,
Son of
updated, of Kylo Ren's original lightsaber that you see in the flashbacks.
I now
Same handle,
Right.
but he's put the additional blades on.
Why is it flickery though?
Because he's impatient, I think, and he's like trying to
Because there's
cut
wires on the
corners. Look at the
outside.
way it's so
The wires are on the
aesthetically
outside.
awful. Yeah. It looks hacked together and it's unstable and
I've never noticed that actually. That's a good point. You can
Dangerous.
see the wires sticking out.
yeah. It's got like a big burn in it as well, where it's been like
You think you
damaged.
can burn him? Pathetic.
This was so good though.
Yeah.
So
I did not expect it at all.
I like his blackheads on the end of his nose. That's how much detail there is. It's like,
It's very good.
look at the blackheads going on.
Yeah.
Yes. I see him.
He's so dark with the dark side. He's got blackheads.
And it was just a flick of the wrist, really.
Yeah.
It was really good.
He's seeing the lightsaber turn, but he's seeing the wrong one
He
turn.
ignites it.
Kills!
Kills his true enemy.
I could not believe that.
I loved it.
Couldn't believe it.
I'm so glad. I really hope they don't bring him back for 9.
Oh, they won't. I'm
They
absolutely
can't.
sure they won't.
shouldn't if they're following the heroine's
Yeah.
journey. It's the last time I'm going to say.
Although
that.
I did point out a couple of episodes ago that Darth Maul got cut in half, and in the TV series of Star Wars, he's still alive.
What about? Oh, this is so good.
This fit's wonderful. Look
It's
how
so
slow it
good.
goes.
People were making like, oh my, like wow sounds.
Yeah.
I love it when she grabs his hip and then
Yeah,
And
she
then-
kind of backs up against him.
yeah. Here we go.
My favourite second of
here.
the entire film is
Right.
coming up. It's when he catches the blue
Oh, yeah.
lightsaber and turns it up for 1
And
second.
doesn't even look around.
And it's that 1 second of he's still
Blue
still
meaning good,
and
good.
Yeah.
Red meaning evil.
Take it easy, Peter.
So Kylo Ren's fighting on this. He keeps on doing this thing where he jabs his lightsaber into the ground and then pulls it back out again. And I don't know why he does that.
Just to use it as a pivot. It's like when you ski.
Right,
kind
okay,
of
so he
balance
actually
yourself.
physically does take on
Some
form.
weight.
The lights. Okay, fine. I mean, obviously, it drags there, but
I'll tell you what.
the
talking of-
weaponry here is really exciting. That is so, like, what the fuck is she going to do?
Where's the other dude?
I think she just
To the
killed
left,
him.
yeah.
Oh, it's going near her neck. Oh, all the sparks and everything
Yeah,
are all
they're
real.
great.
This is all real. It's all happening in the when you see the
Really?
when you see the making of. all the sparks, the burning bits of cloth all falling, it's all genuinely happening around them.
I like the way she fights because it's not like ladylike.
No.
She really goes for it.
And the fighting in this isn't all choreographed like in the prequels, it's all very aggressive, like they're trying to kill each other.
It's clever. The
That's
design on
great
this is
job.
clever.
Yeah.
They'd never have got this amount of violence through on the rating of
No.
film, hence why they're all masked. You don't see their face.
Yeah.
So you can
But look
stab,
here,
you
where
can
he's
stab
trying to
someone
figure out
in
how
the
to-
face and get away with it.
He's
Well,
trying
like-
to figure out what to do.
And he's still got his eye on her as
Yeah.
well, seeing, make sure she's not dead. What I really liked about this as well is that in the first film,
Ooh.
like, he seems so pathetic in comparison to her, and in this you really get to see how good he is.
Yeah.
Gets a bit unstuck though. He still needs her to save him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does, because he drops the lightsaber here.
Yeah.
There we go. He's getting caught up in that guy. He just gets a bit overwhelmed.
I don't understand why he doesn't use the Force to just.
This is my favourite move in the entire sequence here.
He's kind of still got his eye on her though, hasn't he? He's a bit distracted.
Oh, he's waiting. Help me over here. Help me.
Yeah, when you've got a minute.
That's my best. I love that. I love that.
It's so good. It's so satisfying. And brief as well, but it's just one of the most exciting moments.
It's one of the best fights in Star Wars. Full
She
stop.
already knows. She already knows he's like he's his interest.
That was their brief moment of like being in sync, and now they're
now
back to where they were
completely
before.
back. Yeah. You said he's got a redemption arc. This is the point where he starts going backwards. From this point, he just becomes really.
Well,
It's an
Obsessed
opportunity of I'm now the leader.
Yeah, it's
power.
greed. It's the
power,
greed.
greed versus
Yeah.
doing the right
But
thing.
she's kind of got it too, in the sense that like she's. They both at this moment are still going back to what it is they know, really what their weak points are. For hers, it's family and belonging, and for him, it's a sense
Yeah.
of autonomy and power and being the master of his own destiny. And they still they each have their own
Do you want to know the truth about
weak
your parents?
points.
Or have you always known? You just hid
I always wonder how actors get this emotional on cue. And what the hell goes through your mind in order to produce that kind of response? Look at her, that's genuine.
Never know, dear.
Never felt the junk treasures. Sold you off for drinking money. You did. You know, Pop was
Good.
for the junk who did.
Very good.
Better than Hayden Christensen.
Better than I gave her credit for.
God.
yeah, definitely.
My favourite thing she's been in is Toast of London.
Okay.
So,
Not to me.
I genuinely believe him. Her parents are irrelevant.
It's like, but some people call that the proposal scene because of his hands outstretched.
Right, yeah. Listen to his voice here.
But obviously we all see the gloves, so we know it's not going to go down well.
He sounds so desperate.
Yeah.
you're right, he doesn't want to be on his own.
No, he's desperate
He's
for.
been his own. He's been his own his whole life.
Yeah.
And he's finally found someone who's as lonely
Yeah.
and as he
His
is.
equal.
And she's his equal. And yeah. Which is why I don't think he's going to be letting go of that anytime soon in episode 9.
I don't think he's going to try. I don't think he wants to kill her at all. He says
I
to
don't
Luke,
think they want
"I'm
to
going to
kill
kill her."
No,
and
he's
not going to kill her at all.
He's been abandoned again. He
Yeah.
wakes up and the one person he thought
Yes.
was his equal has
Has
done a
left him.
runner
Yeah.
in his stepdad's car.
You know, she could. In the book, it says she could have killed him, and she briefly considered killing him while he was unconscious, but she didn't because she knew that the universe, karma, is that kind of thing, will eventually sort
She
things
did
out.
what Luke
she
did, but
yeah,
made the right decision.
yes, exactly. She did. Otherwise, she'd just be as bad as Luke Skywalker. If she
Yeah.
killed him while he was unconscious on the floor.
That should have been in this film.
I know.
No, I'm glad they didn't do that because it also would have just.
Because I
thrown
did
into
kind of wonder, like,
question-
why the hell is she suddenly in the main involved?
It's too obvious then.
This bit's great.
I don't like that. I hate the idea that lightsaber's now dead forever.
No, she's gonna make her own, isn't she?
Should we go back to Act 2 and get Luke
It'd be,
Skywalker's
small
green
font.
one?
Should we use
Oh, yeah, that'd be
a
cool.
helicopter one from Rebels? So in the TV show,
Oh, no, he's not even kidding.
I'm not joking. They hold these things up, and the blades spin round, and they fly. it is ridiculous.
That is not
That's
gonna
why
happen.
it's a children's show.
I love it.
in this like
Look at Hux's
last
eyes
quarter
here
of
when he
the
realises
film,
what's going on.
You basically get like one great scene after another.
Aid Edmondson.
It's Chief Inspector Grubber.
This is interesting.
Do you reckon they've soiled themselves? Well, the amount of screaming. The amount of strain.
I love this bit. Silence.
Oh! Look at the light.
You could hear people in the cinema like going, it was really funny.
Yeah. They put signs up in some cinemas saying there will be like 10 seconds of silence in the middle of this film and it's intentional, it's not a fault.
That's just hilarious.
I didn't realise it took down all the other Star Destroyers. I just thought it was the Dreadnought.
So did I actually. I wasn't.
I'd never noticed it take down all the Star Destroyers.
You see it? It just cut through all of them.
I see. Oh, we haven't had the Phasma fight yet, have we? This is coming up.
Also splits them perfectly in half.
Yeah,
them perfectly in half.
Yeah, like.
Well, I imagine it's enormous compared to the other ones, so maybe the effect of that explosion. This was a bit weird.
BB-8.
the way that the kind of head all breaks off and it reveals him sat there.
One thing I noticed
kind of a bit far.
One thing I noticed in Rogue One and in this film is they're getting way more comfortable with the idea of robots killing humans.
Yeah.
They're getting way more okay with that.
Yeah.
Because did they ever show that in the early films? No.
Well, apart from the battle droids in the prequels.
But apart from the droids who are actually designed to battle, I mean the protocol droids, like the helper droids,
they're there for serving tea and doing
serve,
translation and stuff. Yeah,
not to develop a conscience.
Yeah, you're right. BB-8's got.
They're starting to humanise and give them conscience and will and stuff. It's weird.
It's a sign of things to
She's
come.
huge compared to him, isn't she? She's so tall.
He's small.
I did like this fight scene though.
Yeah.
I find Finn as a character really interesting, and I was annoyed that they didn't do more with him in this movie. But I understand that they had to give so much time to Rey and Kylo, but I really like him as a character.
Yeah.
There's a really weird, like, it looks like a production photo of Finn in X-Wing pilot gear. And I was wondering at any point in this movie there might have been a scene where he was involved in some sort of space battle, but there's nothing. There's no evidence for it. I don't know why.
He
just fancied jumping in X-Wing for a promo photo. It was really exciting. I was like, wow. But no, it didn't happen. She's not dead. She'll be back in 9. I'm sick of it.
I really hope that doesn't happen.
She definitely will.
If she's back,
she definitely will.
I want to see her in some sort of chrome wheelchair, like disabled.
Yeah.
Just to be real.
Like Ironside.
Yeah.
She turns up in like a little tank, a Scout Walker tank with 2 wheels.
Like X-Men.
Yeah. Professor X.
Yeah.
The face there.
I love the hands just still
funny.
stuck there.
Yeah.
Snaky.
Look at this. If you look closely, he tries to shoot him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which Jude didn't notice that at the time.
Really?
He was too busy looking at Kylo Ren's ass.
How can I help?
I mean, I was going to say,
Those toned buttocks.
You think his
trousers.
torso's good? You should see some of those.
When he assumes power
gluteus
here, I
muscles.
reckon from this point there's a lot of bickering between them. And I reckon because Kylo's anger ultimately ends up losing them the day.
Who do you think
Yeah.
I think
not
the
just his
ninth
anger, it's-
film is definitely going to involve a overthrowing,
Oh yeah.
where Hux claims power and frames him maybe or something, does something to try and kick Kylo Ren out the First Order,
Yeah.
and that may even end up to help Kylo Ren's redemption arc some way. I don't know.
I really hope they don't redeem him by death. That would be really annoying.
Yeah, I don't want
Because
him
we
to
already
die.
had that.
What I really wanted was him to, have that final scene where he hugs his mum.
I know.
And he won't ever get it now.
How good is Leo looking over that cheeky bit of collar?
Yeah.
Harry Hill, eat your heart out. I mean, if I had that one, I'd look like Harry Hill.
You would actually. Another cosplay idea, you can go as Leia with a big collar. Do they genuinely think this is the First Order coming?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Lightsaber. Bloody hell. I've had a long
Green
day.
laser.
One beer.
I've had two.
Okay, well then.
Yeah, he pointed out all the laser shots in this film are different colours to represent good and evil. Which I never noticed that.
No, I didn't notice that either.
Oh, by the way, in the making of, again, sorry to keep referring to it, they even tried dressing up a greyhound in the Crystal Fox outfit and had it running around. It looked amazing. Yeah, dressed a greyhound up as a Crystal Fox. They did use it, I believe.
Oh.
They dressed up a greyhound in the Crystal Fox outfit and it looked amazing.
He's obsessed with being split up with that droid and having emotional reunions at the end of each film.
It's the only way to make him likeable.
He really loves that droid.
I love BB-8.
So this is all that's left of the Resistance.
Yeah.
He's been raiding Han Solo's wardrobe there. He's gone and got his old...
What's happening on Coruscant at this moment? What's going on?
It's now or never.
I don't know, man. I imagine it's just a knackered city.
Fair enough.
And we'll find out in the 9th one.
Pray that big ass door holds long enough for
Big ass door. Is that swearing?
Yeah, there's 3 swearers in this film.
Oh, they've pushed the...
Which is really weird because Star Wars films never have swearing in them, really.
No swearing, no sex.
Yeah.
a battering ram.
Wow, this is
What
a
now?
platform for the next one. It's going to be pornographic. The rate they're going.
There has to be a background here, right?
That's not CGI, that thing, is it?
They are CGI, but they were originally done as puppets. They were originally done as dogs in costumes, but they eventually went with CGI. I mean, you can't get those things to respond to noises that aren't there, if they were
We have
real.
allies. People believe in Leia. They'll get our message. They'll come. But we have to buy time. We gotta take out that cannon.
I like the speed a bit coming up. It's
Do you think
really...
that's true? Do you think people will come to the 9th one? People believing in Leia?
Yeah, because at the end of the movie, the story of Luke Skywalker spreads across the galaxy.
Okay,
it?
so the kid. So
Luke
basically, what's
Skywalker-
going to happen is a bunch of little kids, 8-year-olds with brooms.
No,
will come
no,
to,
not them.
I'll fight them with my broom.
Not
It's
them.
not Harry Potter. They're mixing genres. I'm getting sick of it.
The child at the
Don't
end is
lie,
supposed to
love it.
represent
I love
the
Harry
image
Potter,
of hope.
I
And
know,
also,
I
it's
know.
supposed to represent us, as in
I'm
you
being
and me and you,
facetious.
as children watching Star Wars and wishing we were part of that world.
I think Jude might have a point though, because they've been hearing about Luke Skywalker for 30 years and they've still been dealing with civil wars and crap.
Even Rey's heard of him, and she lives in a dusty old junk planet.
You're Luke Skywalker. No, sorry.
Bloody hell,
What'd
man!
she say? You're
Mike
Han
just
Solo.
peeped. Yeah, the
Even Han
rebellion
Solo's
general.
face.
I thought you were a smuggler.
I thought you were scum. Beautiful. Look at that.
Nice bit of
If
comedy here. Where he puts his foot through
designed
it.
this film, if I directed this film, I couldn't do anything.
I don't think you could direct it, mate.
No, I'm just saying.
It's like a 24-hour-a-day job for 3 months.
I know. I'm trying to do a 2-minute video at the minute, and it's killing me.
Trying to get a sign off on that. You like the art direction in this one though? It's your favourite.
I love it.
It's great.
It's funny with that bit with the salt though, isn't it? Why did that guy do that? Is it to tell the audience it's not snow, it's salt?
So let me ask you this question: If they said,
Just ask the question, you don't have to ask the question before.
if they said,
Yeah.
we're going to destroy every copy of Star Wars, digital, film, everything, it's all gone. You'll never see it ever again. But you can pick one to savour. What one?
Oh, Christ.
It would be your favourite one, wouldn't it?
Well, what would it be?
Empire.
But it has to tell the story to the next generation.
You'd do a fan edit.
I think I'd controversially probably say this
Ahsoka
one.
film. Ahsoka film.
This one, really?
Yeah, I
Because it's sort of, you can start the whole thing again from this point. Maybe.
Yeah, and also like it actually, for once, just explains what the Force is. And the fact that it's not something.
Good points.
For a
Very good
privileged
points.
few, and it's like an energy. I think I like that.
Have you done the Star Wars VR experience, Bradie?
No. Where's that?
Oh, it's coming. It was at the Westfield in Shepherd's Bush. Now it's going to be at the Westfield Stratford, starting again soon. We're taking 2 competition winners along to it, but we've got to go again. We're going to do it again, so come on board.
That sounds great.
It'll be amazing. It's like a full-on immersive. You're in a room in the pitch black with VR headset on with a gun, and you're.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I have to do that before I die.
Before your eyes. Yeah.
It's the bucket list.
You sit anywhere in that Millennium Falcon gunning chair, and my child inside me just screams with joy. It's just the most exciting thing, isn't it?
I reckon I'm going to watch this film.
Wouldn't it be great?
Again, after
next
watching
movie,
Solo.
with Kylo Ren sat in that chair shooting things,
That'd be
first
great.
order things.
I'd love him to like fully redeem himself.
Yeah.
Be sat in flying that Falcon next to Chewie.
Kylo.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he's. I
Ray
don't
dies,
think he's gonna.
and Kylo Ren and Chewie fly off into the sunset holding hands.
I mean, the only way redemption arcs happen is there's that whole lot of pain beforehand.
Yeah.
I mean, and then it depends like
They'll
how you get.
kill Chewie next.
How you
Unnecessary.
get redeemed depends on how much the audience feels like you deserve to suffer, which is why Vader's redemption was via death. Because I mean, after all that, there was really only one way he was coming out. But it's so much about.
In the original script for Solo, though, he lives. He comes back. He dies, and then he comes back as a good person, reborn.
The original. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think after watching Solo, that ship, the Falcon, is going to be a character, like it always is, and we're going to. I mean, when I watch it flying around, I'm remembering everything that I've seen in the old films. But I think that's just really going to accentuate it in Solo.
I think you're right, man.
Do you think they're gonna axe the Falcon in the 9th film?
If they do, I'm gonna be very upset. That's worse than killing off Luke.
Someone's told me. Was it you?
I don't think it was me.
Someone told me they're gonna kill the Falcon.
Don't do that.
Worse than
Please.
killing off Luke.
I mean,
Luke's not dead. He'll come back.
The Falcon
as a
is like my
He's only going to
favourite
come
thing in
back
the
as a
world.
cameo, though. He won't come back big time.
Yeah, he'll come back as a ghost.
Yeah, for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He won't come back as a big part, thank God. Not that I don't like the character, but I think it would derail the 9th film if he had too big a part.
Target inside. Guns are hot. Now, hold on. What? The cannon is charged. It's a suicide run. I'm not moving. No, I'm almost there. Retreat, man. That's an order.
I did wonder for a bit whether he was actually gonna pop it at this moment.
Yeah, me too.
I thought he did.
It's too late. Don't do this.
No! I won't let them win.
He's quite away from it though. I mean, there's like 8 of them, and then no one's shooting him out yet.
It's moving pretty quick though.
What did you miniaturized
Death Star
tech? It's just a cop out.
It is a bit, yeah. But then, well, what is the link between Rogue One and the following people through hyperdrive? Is it one of the plans?
Yeah, it's one of the plans. So
Yeah, I saw that. I clocked that
It's one of
when
the
I watched it.
tapes that they're going
Yeah.
through at the end of the movie. Yeah.
But she,
that's called
I guarantee
Operation Tied on
everything,
String or
she,
something.
everything she reels out, and there's about 10 of them.
Yeah, they're all
They'll be in
references.
various films coming up.
Right.
Interesting though, isn't it? Because J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson swear down they don't know what's happening in each other's films, and yet that was referenced back in Rogue
The
One.
thing is, JJ was a producer on this film,
Yeah.
so
They're involved.
Must be involved.
They're involved.
I like the trench.
Yeah. You played the Battlefront game. Are you into Star Wars?
Gaming isn't something I do. but-
Okay.
Right, get out. There's the door. There's the door, mate.
Don't do that.
But you know,
No, but it's very. This is all beautifully recreated in the game, and it's you can just explore it, and it's lovely.
Do that. Huh? It was almost there.
Oh,
It's
nice
like
little
what-
cute moment here.
I know, it's like
I
the
like it.
it's cute. She has a good point, but it's like the most passionless kiss. face
Yeah, it
I've
is.
ever seen.
And then she passes out as soon as she's
Yeah,
done it.
he's
It's her
like-
last ounce of energy.
Yeah, and he's like, what just happened?
Not fighting what we hate, saving what we love. She's like, oh, he didn't like that, and that's her last thing she thinks
God,
about.
imagine.
Because we don't see her again now for the rest of the movie, and she's unconscious right to the end.
This is true.
That gun didn't do very much to that door, did it?
No quarter. No prisoners.
So he already thinks Leia's dead at this point, and he thinks that Rey's off in Snoke's vehicle somewhere.
That's a very good point. Yeah, I'm you're right. I think Kylo Ren must think that Leia's dead. Unless he can feel her.
Yeah, maybe. But she doesn't. But when that happens, she feels it too, and she's not reacting. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's the significance around the dice, do you think?
So the dice that you see are the ones that Han uses, and he wins the Falcon with those dice by playing a game called Sabak.
Right.
Which
So,
we'll see in
the
Han Solo film.
film.
so what's the significance with
Oh, here he comes.
him giving? Why does he give them to Leia? And what is the significance when Kylo picks them up at the end? What
I
is?
think it's
What do they
because it's like,
symbolise?
this is
They
Han,
mean?
this is your husband's dice, and this is your son's, this is your dad's dice. It's like, Han's still there. It's part of the original three through the dice, without actually being there.
Because no one's really gone. It means as in
yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
they
And they're
never
twins
leave your
as
heart.
well, right? So they're
Yeah.
twins, which kind of ties it. And then you've got, I don't know.
Oh, you think there's more symbolism in the
Yeah,
dice,
I was
like two
wondering,
dice
what they
identical and
actually
whatever.
mean. Yeah.
Not really. I mean, they've always just been dingling around in the Falcon the whole.
Unless
films.
Solo is going to explain it, but I just think it's.
But it's a projection.
No
It's not
one's
even
really
real.
gone, and it's about Han. It's not gone. It's still there.
Yeah.
In there.
I can't save him.
I held it on hold for so long, but I know my son's gone.
I like her look in this film much better than The Force Awakens.
Yeah, in The Force Awakens, she was very kind of military.
Yeah.
But then that is her role, right? She was
Yeah.
like proper leader, general. She's still general. I still call her Princess Leia though, because it's what I call her.
Oh, the music.
And they play the they play the theme.
Whereas they had that lovely kind of the brother and sister theme from the Endor scene in Return of the Jedi. That's nice. Go for the lips, mate. Just like you did on
Yeah.
Hoth.
Memory.
This is nice.
Master Luke.
It's a little wink.
Would he wink? Would Luke
So before Luke turned up, he thought, I'll just get my Grayther men out and colour my beard, and she cut my hair.
So they're saying the reason, because obviously he appears like younger and whatever, because he's doing it to rile Kylo. He's looking the last time Kylo saw him, he looked like that.
Yeah. I think it's either that or that is how Luke sees himself or how others see Luke. Last time I saw him, that's what he looked like. Maybe.
And it just tips him over the edge. He sees his old master as he looked when he was bringing his saber down, and he's like, okay, I'll have him.
What about Luke having the blue lightsaber that just blew up in front of him?
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly not thinking straight, is he? All he sees is he's just seen his dad's ship fly by, and he's looking at his old master in front of him, and he just doesn't think about it.
Do it.
Or it's a massive mistake on behalf of. They don't really make mistakes about lightsabers, do they?
I think it's Kylo didn't see Rey. When he wakes up, the lightsaber's gone. So for all he knows, the lightsaber didn't blow up.
Yeah.
And could have given Luke the lightsaber, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but he also doesn't know that Rey's on the Falcon.
There's a deleted scene here where the Falcon comes in and sees all that going on, then the racers will go around the back, and then they fly over the base.
That's enough.
That's enough!
Yeah, he's clearly not thinking straight.
When this I was just giggling.
Yeah.
And I still thought Luke was still there. I thought he was in the flesh, like an idiot.
Well, yeah, we all did. I just thought he'd repelled it all using the Force or something. But he says at the beginning of the movie, "We think I'm just going to walk out with a laser sword and take down the whole First
Like he
Order."
just does.
And he does.
Yeah.
He ends up doing that, really, for what he's doing here.
But even you don't really clock it when you see this. You don't realise that, you don't really clock that he looks younger and he's still got the same,
Yeah.
like, even as an audience, you've just seen
Yeah.
it happen.
You kind of want
You don't
him
even-
to be. That's the
yeah.
Luke we want. Like as a fan, like, as a
Exactly.
fanboy.
Because you've seen that
Exactly.
sneak of his
And
X-wing
I just
under the
assumed
water.
that's what was happening. I like that.
It's a trick they're only going to use once now, because every other
Why
Star
not,
Wars
though?
film we're going to be
Because all
thinking,
that
is
shit
this
was
a Force
happening, and he was
projection?
dragging Rose through all that.
That's a really good point.
Just dragging, dodging the bullets,
Very
dragging.
interesting point. Yeah, this whole illusion here, where Luke is actually not really there. I just hope they don't reuse this a lot in the future films. Otherwise, because you're only going to pull this trick once.
Yeah.
We've got
And
time
fool the
travel now in
audience.
Star Wars, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's another thing.
What?
Yeah, the Rebels cartoon has introduced time travel.
Oh god, I heard
No,
about that.
isn't that bad? Isn't that really like something inside you
Disappointing.
dies a little bit?
Yeah, it's disappointing. It's just a lazy it's
Cop
a lazy
out.
yeah, it's a lazy kind of like
We can-
narrative
It's another.
tool, really.
They use it a lot in Star Trek, and they use it to solve all kinds of problems
Yeah.
they can't really get back out of.
Just
And now it's
exclusive
going to do
crap
that for Star
writing,
Wars. Yes.
effectively.
Welcome to Crap Writingville, the future of Star Wars.
I have to say, I thought the dialogue in The Force Awakens is actually better than the dialogue in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Generally
Do you?
speaking, yeah.
Okay.
I thought that the way the dialogue, the way characters bounced off each other was.
Can we say what you
better.
do professionally?
Yeah, sure.
Well, go on then.
I'm a writer.
She's a writer, so she's got a professional opinion of
So
it.
if you're wondering-
Your opinions are wrong. You got nothing. She kicks your ass every time.
So if you're wondering where all the weird literary stuff comes from, that's where it comes from.
Although I think it's a better directed film,
It
but
is.
dialogue-wise, yeah, I kind of know what you mean there.
It's really, dialogue is so hard to write in books and in scripts.
Some of the stuff Snoke had to say was great, though. The whole thing of why do I keep a rabbit cur? All this kind of stuff. It's great.
That's all that's left of them. What, 12?
Yeah, that does.
Yeah, what the hell's happened there? Like, is that all that is left in the the resilience?
In the resilience.
What they call the resistance? Resilience.
I think they should change
Is
the
that a
name.
word?
I don't.
Yeah,
resilience. Yeah.
resilience. If you have
Of course,
resilience,
yeah,
then-
but in the wrong context.
Yes.
Completely.
yeah.
Got the wrong tense.
Tense.
I didn't like that, but okay.
You didn't like that bit?
No.
Why? Gave it back to the man.
No! Oh my god!
Oh God!
Joking,
Everything
I'm
is a
joking.
feminist opinion, really, Jude.
I'm
God.
poking you with a stick.
He is. He's winding you up.
You can be accusing me of burning my bra soon.
Bloody hell! Can we edit this bit, John?
We never edit anything in
Oh,
a commentary
bloody
because
hell.
of the
You
syncing
didn't
up with the
tell me
picture.
that.
We never edit the commentaries down. Yeah.
We've been talking over it so much, people aren't gonna.
This may as well be live. Yeah, yeah. People have turned off by now. No, they do get to the end.
Trust the poor.
Her and Chewie have got this lovely, sweet thing now. I hope we see more of that in 9.
How
A
old
lot
is
more
Chewie now?
cuddles. He's like
Right.
200, isn't he, or something? He's really old.
Maybe he dies in the next one.
I reckon he will. Yeah. I don't want him to.
The last of the original.
Maybe he's actually a Jedi Master. No.
Yeah, this is it. This is the end. This is the last movie with the. You won't get the original 3 again because
Yeah.
one of them's been killed off,
Yeah,
and two of
fine.
them have been killed off. Actually, all 3 of them have been killed off.
That's another reason why Kylo can't die, because he's the last Skywalker.
Yeah.
I mean, they can kill him, but they're gonna enrage
He's the
all
last
Star Wars,
Skywalker,
all
wow.
Star Wars fans ever.
He's got to have a baby. He's
Oh
got to
my
have.
days. He's the last Skywalker.
Yeah.
Mate, what's a 10-second delay? We're in the Twilight Zone here.
I'm watching Luke Skywalker fight.
He's the last Skywalker. The new film will be called The Last Skywalker. Bradie, good observation. I've never even thought about that until that. That's so cool.
That
That
is-
bit there when
yeah.
he sort of
Do you know what, I've
spits
actually
out.
missed that the first 3 times.
Failed you.
You notice how Luke isn't leaving any red
Yeah.
marks where he's standing, whereas Kylo is.
I mean, now I know.
I noticed it in the cinema, but I thought it was just a CGI mistake.
And when I killed you, I would have killed the last Jedi.
Amazing. Every word of what you just said was wrong.
Do you get the impression that he probably said that to
Born today.
Kylo a lot back in the training days?
Yeah.
Is that his
Yeah.
daily motto, his catchphrase? Everything you just said was
Just-
wrong.
Little by little,
Not these.
pounding him into the ground. Come on, Ray.
Why couldn't Leia have moved the rocks?
Good point.
Yeah, good point.
She's
But
not,
she's the
she's
symbol
not
of.
open enough.
She's
to
the
the
new
Force.
symbol of hope. She's the new Luke Skywalker figure for the Empire. The resilience. No, I'm just kidding. That was deliberate. The resistance. Oh, there you go. They finally get together again. But
They're just mates.
but she meets Poe in a minute, and there's
I
there's
know.
genuinely
That
a
would be
big
so
ass smile on her
disappointing.
face.
He's not good enough for her. I'm just going to say it.
I'll destroy her. And you.
It'd be cool though if they set the next film further forward, and in that time, Finn and Rey are actually.
No.
Sorry, Poe and Rey are actually dating.
Shut me down.
And
don't
very
see it
argumentative, they're not
happening.
getting on. And then Finn and Rose are also doing the same.
Just like your
And it also ultimately ends in her falling in love with Kylo Ren. That's
Sounds like
that's
I said
the deal.
Hollyoaks.
Yeah, it should be.
He
It should
does-
be like so.
He does look proper old, doesn't he? Mark
Luke.
Hamill,
Yeah,
yeah.
he does. So what did you think at that point in the cinema? Were you like, how
thought
the
he was dead.
hell is he
I was
still
like,
alive?
Yeah, I thought he was dead. No, I thought, of course. Then you feel that.
You went like this. Woo! Woo! When you saw him meditating.
Everybody did, man.
I went-
Fucking face. When he started meditating, everybody cheered. It
I
was
didn't know
just
how
like,
I felt about it. He was very clever.
It was good.
it's such a genius pull back and reveal
It is
trick.
great, isn't it? It is great.
The last line of Luke Skywalker now.
See you around, kid.
It's the kind of thing Han Solo would say.
That's why he
you know.
says it.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be with you just like your father.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is great. Now keep your eye on Hux in the following scenes. His disdain for Kylo Ren, staring at him, his eyes going right through him. He just hates the guy. He's cost them the victory. The resistance has got away because of Kylo Ren's hubris and getting carried away.
Look how much he's taken it out of Luke.
Yeah.
Look at him. I love this bit.
It's like Rogue One.
And are the twin sons here? Are they the same sons that he looks at from Tatooine?
I think so.
Is it the same system?
So this bit, she sees Kylo. Are they connecting again?
In a
through
moment.
the Force?
No, not yet.
No, she's feeling Luke dying. That's what she's feeling. So they're
Same
both
way.
feeling Luke dying now. I definitely choked up at this bit in the film, I think. Especially with the shot of the sun now.
I passed you a Kleenex.
You did. A used one. There we go. I think George Lucas really liked this one as well. He was very happy with it.
Well, this is based on his script for 7.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Lovely shot, that.
Yin and Yang there.
Yeah. And the same with Rose and Paige's little necklaces. You're late, mate.
Echo of Anakin Skywalker in the Jedi Temple.
Yeah. But look at Hux here. He's absolutely furious. He just wants to kill
He just
him.
wants power.
Yeah.
He senses weakness, and he's right.
He's the rightful leader, really, the heir to.
Ah, here we go.
Yeah. So
Everybody sees this says, "Oh, this means Snoke's alive." It really doesn't.
Well,
No.
it kind of means that
It's they've developed the ability
Yeah.
to do it themselves.
but
Because
through Luke, because that's still part of Luke's illusion, the dice. Luke's
Yeah, maybe.
illusion is the power there.
They're still going to keep being able to do that.
See, and then they disappear. So Luke's traces are there.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Flashes blue at the end. So maybe the dice still had that. I don't know. Luke's powerful enough to do it, but if you do it too much, you die.
But why would he do that? Why would he bridge their minds right at the end?
I think they do it
Maybe
themselves. Myself.
I think.
Hi. Hello.
It's weird to think they've never met before now, isn't it?
Yeah, they had to introduce them, really, didn't they?
There's the books.
I was kind of disappointed by that, actually. I like the idea that they'd all been burnt.
Really?
Yeah.
She's going to learn some knowledge. She probably won't bother reading them. She sort of bend the spine
What
to
do you
make
think?
it look like they've been read.
What does Leia mean when she says we have everything we need right here? Like, in that you are the figure of you're the figurehead now.
Well, because
we've got the
numbers
legend of
mean
Luke
nothing.
Right.
What matters is the core people.
friendship, the camaraderie.
I felt it too.
Have you ever wondered what would actually happen if the rebellion won? Like, so the Empire's
It did
all
win.
across.
In
no, but
Return of the Jedi.
like in like say 9, for example.
Yeah.
So if they were to win, they're like the empires across the entire galaxy, keeping effectively law and order. So it'd be
Yeah.
like, what happens if you remove a dictatorship from a country if you don't have?
Enough to replace it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens in the stories after Return of the Jedi. So the problem is that there are still loads of factions of the Empire that are still resiliently fighting.
Do we see that in the world now? Do we see that like when a dictatorship gets ripped down?
Iran,
basically.
Iran, right? Then you end up with loads of terrorist cells
Yeah.
taking control. Yeah. Look at the kid here with the Force.
Which might be why we're having another dozen movies.
It's very subtle.
Force sensitive 8-year-old.
I like the
Just
way
like
he
Anakin.
just lifts that broom up
Yeah.
like a lightsaber.
Yeah.
And the moon glints off it and it glows ever so slightly.
Yeah. It's a really nice way to finish the film.
That's assuming he ends up on the light side. He might end up on the other side.
Yeah, true. But then, like, you know, this is that kid represents.
Do you reckon that's the Falcon?
Yeah.
In hype.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, probably.
That kid represents the Star Wars fans, as in us,
Yeah.
and also it represents the hope that Luke Skywalker is this figure. We've done it.
We've done
We're
it.
bang up
We've
to
done
date
all
with
the
our
films.
commentaries. High fives.
We've got to do
Well
the
done. Thanks so much for joining us for this.
Ewok movies.
Really amazing. Look, guys, thanks very much for listening to us. We've got to say, our great friend Stormtrooper Run. You want to get the website up?
Yeah, but we're still watching the film, so if you've got your phone, I'll take one.
Okay.
2 seconds.
We'll talk about it more next week as well in a bit more detail. But we've mentioned before Jez, who is a runner who dresses up like a stormtrooper and does like marathons, half marathons. He even does like ridiculous, like, you know, all day runs.
Yeah.
As well. Raises a huge amount for children's charities. He's got a good website. We've got his URL. which
Keep
we'll
talking,
mention
I'm
now.
trying to find it.
Keep filling.
Okay, I got it. It is. It's still loading.
Still loading. We'll mention it again next week.
What is it? It's just stormtrooperrun.com.
Yeah. Stormtrooperrun.com. You can't go wrong. You look him up. You'll check him out. Have a look at what he does and dig deep. Give him a little bit of money on the old Just Giving. You
Treat
know?
yourself.
Pass it on. Pay it forward. All right. Final thoughts on Last Jedi then. Where does it sit with you in your 9, in your top? Not your 9. Yeah, 9 because of the Rogue One films.
Gosh. Oh, it's really hard. I mean, like the 4, 5, and 6 are always going to be special because I remember watching those when I was like 7 years old.
Yeah.
So they're always going to be
See, Jude?
super special. Followed by
In
Rogue
memory
and
of
then-
Carrie Fisher, just needs to. Yeah, go on.
Followed by, I think I'd put, oh god, but Rogue is so different to The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi that it's really hard to rank. What about you?
I think this film is slightly better than Return of the Jedi, so I'd say Empire, Rogue One, this film, and
Yeah,
then
snap.
everything below that.
Snap.
Rogue One to me is just
I love
I
it.
love how Jude, you started off hating the film and now you're ranking it above The Force
Yeah,
Awakens.
no, because it's
Interesting.
lore. It was all the lore.
when
and
you saw
everything-
it, he
everything
first of all
that
said it's the
I
best Star Wars
you gotta
film
remember,
ever,
You got to
and
remember.
then he said it's the worst Star Wars film ever, and then he said I think it's great.
You got to remember all the years and time I invested in the lore and the details of everything in this galaxy, for it then to all be blown away in 2 hours. Yeah, I was a little bit annoyed.
Interesting.
The second time I went to see it, what do you mean interesting? Fact. Second time I went to see it, without all the surprise and all of that, I went with a bit more of a critical mind and thought about it differently and understood the story arc and all of that and what it meant for Star Wars. Actually, it needed to happen. Needed a fresh perspective and a fresh path.
Fresh pair of eyes, and that's got to go back to J.J. Abrams for a concluding part.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
Right.
Which will be really weird because he's gonna. I think that film sort of did piss a bit all over his film in some respects.
Some ways.
And
I can't wait.
And
I can't wait to see what he's going to do.
It built a lot on the seeds that he planted in The Force Awakens,
Yeah.
so that'll be interesting.
They did
So-
throw out the original idea for, they threw out the original idea for 8 was already written,
Yeah.
and then because they changed a couple of things in episode 7, they completely rewrote 8 when Rian Johnson arrived from scratch. So loads of ideas for 8 were in place set up by The
Yeah.
Force Awakens and then completely scrapped.
Good.
Interesting, though.
Need to do it. So look, we're going to get Bradie back on the show. We're going to do a Han Solo movie.
Nice.
Yeah,
We're
we've got
going
loads
to do an
coming up.
episode 9 speculation.
We got the VR thing coming up as well.
Yeah.
With Graham and his mate.
If they don't get stuck in snow.
Let's hope there's no snow. All right, we've got loads coming up, and hopefully a live blog show in the summer. Stay in touch with. Stay tuned for more.
Stay in
on
touch
that.
with us. We're
Stay
all
in touch.
mates.
Keep on writing in. You send us stuff all the time anyway. Thanks very much. I've been John Gantini,
I've been Jude Gay.
And I've been Bradie Tippetts.
and may the force be with you. Bye.
Yeah.
See ya.